Good evening. Thank you for joining us again on Iconic Productions. Wrong name. Gets worse.
That was right.
It was correct.
No, I got the first one right. It was the name of the show.
Oh.
It gets
better.
our show.
I renamed the show.
Oh,
yes.
good.
Why did you buy me
It
good
gets
red
awesome.
wine? All right.
What?
When last we left our heroes.
That's
Also,
water.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, all.
Happy Valentine's
I'm sorry.
Day.
When last we left our heroes. There we go.
Yay.
Your friend
professional
Almania had
service.
been brutally killed by a ghoul. You guys panicked and jumped on a ship to take you across the several hundred miles across the inland sea.
Yeah, it was panic. Never mind.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I was
totally
ready to
protest,
fight you
then,
on that one.
Yeah,
That was panic.
It was panic.
You managed to talk your way onto a ship. You got most of the way across the sea when you were the ship was attacked by a kraken. The crew fought off, and a bunch of little minion things and some kind of weird kraken priest, water wizard.
That's
sure,
all I
that'll
could
work.
remember. I was trying to remember Kraken Priest, and all I could remember was Water Wizard.
Nope.
That is
Yeah, I
not
like
what
it.
they're
Kraken
called.
priest. You managed to fight them off. You assisted the crew somewhat, although your mentor Kelfir did the bulk of the work against the kraken.
Yeah, but
priest.
he didn't kill me, so I'm going to count that as a
Correct.
win.
It's a victory.
Correct.
Little victories.
Yet. You were rather free with your name in the last episode.
Only to people I trust.
You traveled
Trust Sharona, right?
for an entire day and through the night
I got like a 9.
with the ship helmed by some kind of strange skeletal creature that Morthus talked to. And he got permission to actually interact with this being.
Oh, yeah.
Who can apparently fix the ship by...
Remember that.
Super
his
cool.
Forgot about the
on the
Morthus
decking.
conversation.
It is now
I love
the
that
first day of the month of H.A.P.P.Y.
You said it was the month of the slaughter at Keneb.
Yeah, but that's really long. I gave you the
Okay.
official name, and now I'm saying the shorter name that
Okay.
everybody in the world says. The month of H.A.P.P.Y, which is the last month of winter.
Oh, that's going to get slurred. It's Kaniba or something.
H.A.P.P.Y.
Oh, I know, but no one ever is going to pronounce it that,
Kaniba.
like, with those syllables
Kaniba.
properly. Kaniba.
H.A.P.P.Y. Sure.
It'll get
sure.
slurred.
Can I finish my recap now?
Yes.
Phenomena. I know.
And on the
Yes.
morning of this day, Talia found a letter from Lyra in her stuff and rushed to Lyra's room to find Lyra with a dagger through her heart at the end of a spiral symbol drawn in blood on the floor, with your friend Almania's corpse now intact. And after a short while, Almania woke up again. The whatever ritual Lyra attempted was successful. And your friend Almania's back. Now you have Lyra's dead body to carry around. I don't know what you plan on doing with it.
We're going to burn it.
But, okay.
Land. Vera
That was
doesn't,
fairly obvious.
Vera doesn't like the ocean.
Sorry,
At this point.
Talia,
Yes.
sorry, forgot your name.
That's okay.
Talia managed to cure her rudeness curse by drinking curdled milk.
No, that's not what did it.
Yeah, totally did it.
That's what did it.
No, Talia doesn't think that's what did it.
Okay. Talia's free to
Morthus
be
sure
wrong
as
as
hell
much as she
does.
likes. You got onto
Ariel did that for Talia.
Sure. You got onto a small boat the ship eventually reached the Shadowed Mount, this rising pillar of rock that comes straight out of the sea 100 feet up. You guys got into a rowboat to get closer. You jumped off into the Arctic water.
Yeah, we did do that.
Yeah, that was stupid.
I was confused as to why nobody said, wait, hang on, let's figure out how to avoid doing this, but you didn't. So you jumped into the Arctic water and began up the long, slow journey on this narrow
Tonight.
path, dodging massive, human-sized icicles, navigating the slippery passageways, and you made your way all the way up to the top. You are standing there. You've just crested the top of this island, and you can see ahead of you there's a figure in you think orangish robes, but he's so covered with frost that you can't quite tell. Skin looks very blued, and is just sitting cross-legged in front of the door to this very large structure that runs about 100 feet from one end of this plateau all the way to the next. It looks like kind of the edges of the building are basically on the edges of the cliff, and in order to get to the rest of the island, you have to go through this, or around, I guess, this structure. Cormir is basically insensate.
He's been that way for a long time. Talia would just like to point that out.
Several of you had to jettison your supplies. Morthus had to chuck his priest pack off the cliff in order to manage to hold on to Lyra's body. You had to chuck your path.
My food rations.
Well, and a bunch of gold.
I'm starting to feel warmer because I'm in the first stages of hypothermia.
Oh, good. So, real quick count. How many points of exhaustion do you have? You've got 4. You've got 2.
1.
And you were rolling really well.
Yeah.
Cormir,
I don't know
has...
what the heck happened.
He
got
also
4
has
as
Cormir's
well.
at 3.
Oh,
Okay, I'm the worst. Yeah, I'm like
So,
starting to get the
just a
warm
reminder.
glow.
Just a reminder. I'm sorry, you're not Morthus anymore. I'm Morthus. So, I'm sorry, Elmania, you have disadvantage on ability checks.
Right.
Who had 2?
My speed is halved.
Talia, you have disadvantage on ability checks, and your speed is halved.
Yep.
Vera, those 2 things. You also have a disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws, and your hit point maximum is halved.
Yep.
I think we went through that last time.
Yeah. We had a moment of...
When you get to 5, your speed is reduced to 0, and when you get to 6, you die.
Nice.
You just flat out dead. So, just so you know, you guys are all... Like, your clothing is solid. Because it was soaked, it is now frozen. You guys are freezing and blue and shivering.
I mean, I'm doing pretty well.
I basically can no longer speak.
Almania seems to have bounced back from death rather well. So, you guys are standing in front of this strange frozen figure and this edifice. What would you like to do?
Is there a doorway? Like
there is a doorway.
A gate,
about
something?
10 feet past the monk, directly behind him.
I'll go knock on the door. Somebody want to see if he's like...
Yeah,
he looks kind of dead.
I totter up to him and just go tap tap on the cheek.
Okay.
Which is roughly my eye level.
So you're going to go over to him. You're going to go knock on the door.
Well, first I'm going to check the door for traps because I have trust issues.
Fair enough.
I'm going to join Mom looking at the guy.
Who are you joining?
I'm Mom.
Ma.
I know you're... Oh, Ma. Okay.
Ma. I'm going to join my mom.
You definitely said Mom.
No, I said Ma.
I thought you said mom too. Is that investigation?
So you guys go check on the monk.
Mom.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
That's 13.
It could have been worse.
13. It does not appear to be trapped.
Excellent. Bang, bang, bang.
It you can hear echo on the other side, somewhat. You walk up and just tap the.
Tip, tip.
Okay.
Do I have any gloves?
Yes, you guys have winter clothing.
Okay, good.
You tap him on the cheek, and his eyes open, and you can see kind of the blue color very quickly kind of starts to dissipate, and you can see his skin slowly turning pink.
Shelter, please.
Oh, nice. Hi.
He is human, head completely shaved. His right ear is missing.
Missing, like it looks like it was cut off missing, or looks like it had to deal with hypothermia and you know, like and they had to...
It's a jagged edge.
Okay. So interesting.
Yeah, and it doesn't appear to have fallen in the snow or...
Oh, look, here's your ear. Congratulations.
Stick it back on.
His eyes kind of open, just this dark brown color.
Please.
Kind of turns around to look at you guys. You're banging on the door. And just this wide smile just kind of cracks his face.
Hi.
You have survived the path of lies. Apologies. And arrived at the crown of the high peak of the death of 1,000 blessings.
What?
Nice.
Lovely.
1,000 blessings.
Not hoping not to cause any inconveniences here, but I think a few of my friends are rather cold.
Indeed.
Does the door open?
It is a door.
Open it.
Is it locked?
You trying the handle?
Yeah.
Yeah. It opens. Yeah,
It's always nice to knock first.
It is
I'm not rude after all.
pitch black inside.
I'm no longer rude.
Can we come in, please?
Oh, Mrs. Mayweather. And I'll just come and bustle Vera up into my cloak. I'll share my cloak with Vera.
Okay.
Wrap her up a little bit.
Okay. So you are all now standing in front of the monk, who's still sitting cross-legged
How does Morthus look?
in the snow.
He looks decent from what I
Morthus
remember.
is actually looking fine.
Okay,
He did fine on his con saves.
Awesome.
Not great on his not having to chuck equipment saves, but
Now
And
we
he
have a
still has
dice
Lyra?
jail.
he's still got Lyra's corpse, yes.
Sweet.
Wrapped up in a sheet.
Now we have a dice.
Yeah, we do
jail,
have a dice jail.
which
It's
is very
cool.
important considering what happened to me last
Yeah,
time.
it's like this.
It's very beautiful, and I'm going to make use
It already
of it.
has a die in it, too.
If these little things screw me over one more time.
There's a smiling monk sitting in the snow, looking at you all.
I'm so sorry. What is your name? I'm Talia.
What good is a name?
It's something people call you, I suppose.
No time for
Do you mind
philosophy.
if we go inside? She's very cold, and I think that... Where's the...
Seeing very
I think
pretty
he's also in need
pink
of
lights.
warmth and cold, and he's generally...
Pink lights sound bad.
Pink light?
glow.
Okay. Can we go in?
Is something stopping you?
Just, it's
Common
polite
courtesy.
to ask, I suppose.
Is he a Socratic questioner?
All right.
Josh made monks. Of course they're fucking Socratic questioners.
I knew it. He's never going to give a straight answer to anything.
I forgot about Uzmanov, and I forgot that
Oh, how much we
I,
hate
Jenny,
him.
hate Uzmanov.
We all hate him.
Old
hate
NPC.
Jared.
Probably just
Jared.
like the all-around best human being they met in the entire campaign.
No,
I
he was
hate
a
him.
jerk.
They hated
I
him.
hate that guy.
This speaks volumes about the party.
We made him a mean nickname for him. It was great.
It wasn't that mean. It just was an
Y'all
English
were just the most murdery hobo-y people in the world.
We didn't murder him. We just tried really hard, and he kept throwing everything
Like,
we threw
I
at
was
him back at
relatively
us.
decent.
He
Welcome to
literally
sanctuary
did
spells.
nothing but ask you questions.
I know. He's such a jerk.
You cornered an old man, and he stopped you with questions.
I'm gonna
Such a
take
jerk,
my
such a jerk.
I'm gonna pull my quill out of my
Favorite moment
bag
ever. Yes.
and cast light on it
Okay.
and hold it out.
I
as
put my
walk into the
dagger
room.
away because I was just about to do that too.
Good. Okay, so
Walk in the room.
Almania's leading the way.
All right, come on, Mrs. Mayweather.
Pink glow.
And I'll shuffle because
Pink
I'm really slow too right now.
Almania. Cormier stands there shivering in the snow.
Come on, Cormier, get inside.
We're inside.
I like hold out
Good
from
job.
from underneath
Good
your
job.
cloak like a
Props
tiny
to-
hand.
I just like
Warm.
He's just kind of
shove
shivering.
him.
Warm.
Okay, so you're pushing him
Yeah.
before you.
And
Okay.
pull.
That's
Almania.
3 times.
Yeah, what do I see?
Not that I'm keeping track.
It's bright light for 20 feet, dim light for another 20.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Just like a torch.
You walk in, and it's a good thing you brought a light source. Because about 10 feet in, the earth just opens up.
Of course it
Nice.
does. Nobody
you-
saw that.
And it
coming.
looks like there is a massive crack, just a fissure in the earth that runs as far as you can see off to the left, just kind of into the dim shadows of that side of the building, all the way across to as far as you can see into the shadows on the right. It's about 15 feet wide.
Okay.
And it just looks like something just split the whole island underneath this building. From what you can see of the walls, there are rows and shelves of books.
Ooh!
I was about to say.
Books. Librarians. Books that like, so are we talking about shelves? So I think my first question is does the building look like it has been affected from this crack? Like, are the cracks up the walls? Is the foundation clearly split, or what does it look like it was built around this?
You can't quite see to the edges, but as you kind of walk over towards one side, you can see the crack begins just a few feet underneath that far left wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then it stretches all the way across. You can see the foundations of the wall. It looks pretty clearly like this building was built, and then something rent the ground underneath it.
So does that mean that the bookshelves, do they all look more recent than the crack? Like, do they kind of build around it, or?
The books are all
Or are they
well
all
bound,
Okay.
but they are also covered in frost.
Interesting.
Is it still cold?
Oh yeah, no, it's still cold.
We're out of the
As
wind,
if we're in
You're out of
contact
the
with
wind.
outdoor.
which
You are out
does
of the wind
a lot.
But there is still a draft that comes up through the crevice, and far down you can hear the crashing of waves.
Yeah.
Lovely place. Alright, can I get to the bookshelves?
Oh yeah, there's some on this side.
Okay, sweet. Warm first. But knowledge, Mrs. Mayweather, knowledge! Pink! Okay.
Hello.
Priorities. Trust me, if I were not incapacitated right now, I would be stealing all of these books. As many as I could carry, but I can't.
There are hundreds.
Yes.
A bunch of them are on this side.
We're in the library in Alexandria.
And then you can also see shelves just on the other side. You can also see sculptures and frescoes on some of the ceiling and the walls, but just the frost that has covered all of it obscures all the details that you can make out, although the statues and sculptures, many of them seem to have large horns.
Cool.
Also, you're freezing to death.
Yeah. So, Mr.
Mr. He has no name.
Mr.
Because names are not important.
Names are not important.
Monk.
Where's the warm place? Is there a warm place? Is there something I can build a fire with? How do you...
Books? We could burn the books.
No, we cannot burn the books, Almania. I will disown you.
Burn the books.
Are we... Okay. We could burn the books. I'm
no
just saying.
burning of
Fire.
books.
People more important than books.
I'm gonna beg to differ.
What? Wow. And I thought I was having a rough day. Okay. Can I go and look at some of the books?
Sure.
Can I get a read on titles or anything like that? Are these do these look like homemade books, or do these look like books that they've collected?
Probably
Just roll a quick investigation check.
But books.
I didn't say the some people part out loud for the record.
I do grudgingly
4.
turn away from the books with you under my cloak.
I have disadvantage.
Many of them appear to be catalogs and records of I can't think of the word, but it starts with an M. Unimportant events that don't seem terribly interesting. One is, categorizing the seasons and things like that. Almanacs,
a farmer's
thank
almanac?
you. Yeah,
Starts with an M,
that's a good
almanac?
word. No, I was thinking of an adjective for the kind of events that they describe.
Mundane.
Mediocre.
Mundane, mediocre.
In other words,
but it doesn't matter.
Really boring books.
Yeah, it seems like a bunch of almanacs.
Okay. Can I steal one?
Yeah, you can take one.
I want to take one, put it in my bag.
Take one off the shelf.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll
Taking
me
a
I'm
leaf
kidding.
out of my book to steal a book. I appreciate this.
So Almania walks over to one of the bookshelves and just kind of
cracks one out.
pops off a book,
Stick it in my bag.
sticks it in her bag.
Sweet.
Don't even care.
Warmth somewhere? Sir?
More important than books.
The greatest prayer is patience.
Well, that's some bullshit. So, how do we jump across?
Language.
How do we jump across? Actually, I have a question. Can you help us get across the giant crevice in your floor?
I could get you across, but it would not be helping.
Oh, I hate him already.
Great, I will take it. I'll take it. Let's go across and not be helped. I'm down.
How far is it again?
15 feet.
It's about 15 feet across.
Could we jump across something like that?
Actually, it's narrower It would have to be narrower towards the edges.
Yeah,
So
it sounds like
probably
a
your widest is about 7 feet.
Throw.
So that's easily jumpable.
Some of you can jump that, yes.
Throw me
Okay. I'm gonna throw her across.
with a rope.
No. Hold on. Cormier. You did do the thing. Take her with you. Disappear from here, appear over there, like you did earlier.
He just kind of walks straight towards the cliff.
I grab him by the cloak.
Okay.
Throw me with a rope. I can duck and roll.
Yeah, but what's the rope gonna do? You're
Bring
not...
you across.
But you can't hold on to a rope in your condition.
I'll figure it out.
All right.
Mortis,
Tie it.
can you get over and take a rope with you, and maybe we can send Mrs. Mayweather over?
You talking to Cormier?
Morthis.
No, I was talking to Morthis.
Oh, to Morthis. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting
Who's
that
the other...
I'm Morthis. Do one of you have a rope? Because Morthis does not.
We have the one that we used to get across.
Yeah.
The big one. I have one.
All right. So what are you asking him to do?
Take a rope over?
Take a rope over?
Yeah.
Can
he do that?
Yeah, he should be able to.
He's stronger than me, surely.
I could do a running jump.
You can put
but I
Lyra
have
down.
4 points of exhaustion.
You can put Lyra down, that's fine.
Okay. So he sets Lyra down, takes the end of the rope, gets as much distance as he can. It's not a very wide building, so you guys only have about 7 feet on this side. So he's going to take a running jump.
Oh, if he falls into the water, we hold the other end of his rope.
Yeah.
For the record.
I love that you think that we're all strong enough to carry more.
I don't care.
All
We're
of
gonna
us.
hold
There's
all of us are
buff
gonna
as
hold
hell
the end
dude.
of the rope.
He runs, doesn't quite make it. His chest slams into the top, and he manages to get his arms right on the top, and he's still holding the
Safety
rope. And he just kind of starts to slide back, but he manages to hold on and looks down. You can hear just the crashing of waves.
We got his safety rope.
He manages to just climb or pull himself over the top. And he walks over to the other side, and you can see that there's a door on the other side as well, which he opens out, and immediately just this blast of freezing air comes into the room, joining with the draft from the sea below, and it is cold. It's been
Please
a while.
don't say
Everybody
it.
roll a Constitution saving throw.
But we're out of the wind now.
I'm already this
Yeah,
close
but
to
it's still
dead.
cold. in
Natural
here.
20.
Okay. Almania's just fine. Is he continuing?
9.
9. Your speed is reduced to 0. Because you're at 5, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Roll for Cormier.
19.
19? Okay,
Mhm.
you're fine. Cormier.
Remind me I put that in there so I don't leave it.
Cormier's fine. Okay. So your speed is reduced to 0.
I'm unconscious. I faint.
You're not quite unconscious, but you are frozen and you really can't move.
Oh,
I'm starting to hallucinate things.
I'm missing being rude at this point.
Morthis seems to have attached his end of the rope to something on the other side.
Nice, let's go.
I look around for something on our side to attach the rope to.
There are sculptures.
Do they look sturdy enough?
They're made of stone.
Okay. Yeah, I'll attach the other end of the rope.
Okay, so you tie the other end of the rope to this statue.
Put it on the base of the statue, not the
You
statue
get
itself.
tightrope walk?
Yeah.
Who's going across the rope first?
I will.
Alanya?
Yeah.
Okay. The rope is icy.
Nice.
It got wet when you guys jumped into the sea earlier. Roll me either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Or you could
Acrobatic.
jump it. It's only 7 feet.
13?
13, okay. You managed to make your way across. It's at one point, you just to make sure you get kind of all 4 limbs, and you just kind of sidle your way along, and at one point both of your legs slip off and you're holding, and it feels like you're going to fall. But you manage to just make it across to the other edge, and right as you feel like you're going to slip, Morthis reaches out and just kind of grabs you and drags you onto the other side.
Throw me?
I push Cormier next.
Throw. Can't cross.
He's got disadvantage as well, doesn't he?
Yep.
If you throw, Morthis can probably catch you.
That's what I'm saying. It's better than me. I can't move, so it's better than me trying to cross.
I think that only comes back on a short rest, right? I don't want to...
If you kill him, right now.
No, I mean, I'm not going to kill him when he's not here. That doesn't mean bad stuff isn't going to happen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a short rest. So he's going to try to go across. Okay, it's a natural 20 out of 10.
Acrobatics or athletics? Not acrobatics for him.
Athletics. So he manages to pull himself across without too much trouble.
Just throw. Can't climb.
Toss her across. Come on.
Nope. Can't do that.
Why?
She's not very strong. She could toss me through the
you
chasm.
send both of your strong people across before the person who needs to be thrown.
I go up to the monk.
Okay.
And I just put Vera. I assume at this point, since Vera can't move, I can just. She's like a child size, right? Like I pick her up like I do my little siblings.
I'm also like bird-boned little old lady.
So I'll pick her up, just like I would Barrette, and I'll
weigh
just
like 75
put her
pounds,
into the
soaking
monk's
wet.
Yeah.
I'll just put her. Where's the monk? What's he doing? Is he like sitting?
He is sitting in the snow exactly as you left him.
Perfect.
And you can see kind of the blue has just started to creep back into his face. His eyes are closed, and he's just got a smile on his face.
I understand that you can get her across. You said it wouldn't be helping, but I can do this myself. She can't. Please, will you take her across?
It is the same life, whether we spend it crying or laughing.
Oh, I like this guy. Okay.
Okay. Would you please do this, since it's the same difference as sitting here doing nothing to be doing something?
But would it really benefit her?
She's about to freeze to death, so getting somewhere where there is warmth would indeed benefit her.
True. If her life is indeed worth living.
That's a good question.
If it is not, then I do her no favor.
Many people love her. She has people who depend upon her.
Cold night. Put the kettle on, Gideon Levy.
Yes, her life is worth living, surely. Or at least she deserves to make that decision herself, don't you think?
But you are asking me to make the decision.
No, I'm asking you to help her live long enough to decide. She could always fall into the crevice later if she wants to.
I am bound only to aid.
Then please aid.
To be idle is a short road to death. And he just kind of clambers his way out of the snow, kind of shakes himself off, and you can see that he's just wearing these lightly orange robes that look like they've been unevenly dyed. The dye job on them is not excellent. So he picks her up, and where are my monks?
Monk.
So, this is an athletics check, but I guess he doesn't have disadvantage. So,
I mean, he could also run over the wall.
He could also just jump over it,
but
because he's a monk.
Yeah. He's gonna throw her.
No, I did not tell him to throw her.
I know you didn't tell him that, but that's what he's doing.
Okay.
Could someone on the other end please catch me? I'm like a little
More
snowball.
More this catch. He's a big, strong dude.
That's fine. Vera's just stiff, small form just kind of goes flying over the crevice and lands right next to Morthus, who catches her. She doesn't slam into the ground.
See,
but
if
Morthus
I still had
has
that
got her.
stupid spell I spent on
As we go over, I go,
I'm gonna motion to the guy.
Hallucinating at this point.
You really are.
I'm gonna motion to the monk guy across and go, okay, so, you got any advice on where to go where our physical bodies can warm up, not our mental or spiritual bodies, not any of that philosophical shit. Where can we physically warm up?
You only lose what you cling to.
That does not help.
He turns and walks back to
Oh
his
my
Gosh,
god.
you're making
sentinel
us
position.
hate a whole nother
I got 100
people.
of these, baby.
I thought Jocasta was just like,
So I
can't
guess
do this anymore.
I know. Well, that's part of what I based it on is based on Jocasta, like what kind of thing would eventually drive her to decide, I can't, this is not somebody that I can be.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I'm currently imagining that I just jumped a rooftop, like back in the old days.
Yep. And
guess
Gideon
that was
caught
me.
you.
Hey, I'm gonna yell back to the monk. Hey, what is it that we're losing, that we're clinging to?
No response. Delia, what you
There's
doing?
no philosophical stuff that
I
Josh
guess
can
I'm
come
the
up with
only
to
one
answer
left here. So,
Nice.
Oh, he
He's
has
just
an
done with
unlimited
you.
well.
yeah. I guess I will attempt to get across. This is going to go really well for
Okay,
me.
give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
I'm using the rope.
That's an 11.
Can
I'll
we
drop
get
another
your-
100 gold if I have to.
This one's gonna be a bit more.
Okay, I'll drop the rest of my gold.
So it's spellbook and whatever is not in your just money pouch. So you can hold on to 100 coins, but the rest is dropping.
No, I'd rather drop the gold in the spell book. I'm not an idiot.
Okay. I'm just pointing out some options. Is there anything else that you could drop?
I'm gonna hold on to my scholar's pack because I still have that because I dropped the backpack with the food in it last time.
You have a separate backpack for food?
Well, yeah, because it won't all fit in the scholar's bag.
No, that's part of the scholar's bag. Is it has a section for food.
5 days of rations?
You chucked your scholar's pack.
Okay, well then, that's all. That's it. I'll just drop the
Okay.
gold. Sure. I
It's
got
okay.
no
I'm
gold.
currently carrying lots of money. You can have some. Vera goes nowhere
I
without
guess
her
when
cash.
you hit the other side, there was just this clink. a
There,
bunch
there
of-
seriously was.
it's a pretty
by the
solid
way.
hit, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was.
All right, you guys all make it across.
Okay.
Morthus steps out the door, and I didn't actually roll a con save for him when that all happened. Oops.
Let our
I
bean
missed
be
it.
okay. I love him.
Well, he's got 1 point.
I gave him an entire pack.
You guys
Can't die, right?
walk through the door on the other side of this and look around. The island opens up quite a bit. You were on only just a very small corner of it. You can see. Don't look at my.
Oh, when you leave it open for me to look at.
You see dozens of very small huts that are just kind of huddled down in the snow, but leading to all of them and just kind of crisscrossing the rest of this island that you can see. And it's hundreds of yards across. There are pathways that lead to every one that are very cleanly swept. Each one of these buildings is identical, except kind of far down towards one end of the island, as the island just kind of narrows to a point. There's a slightly larger hut, and then all the way at the end, there's some kind of very small structure right at the point of this island. But the largest building that you can see is off to your left. It's the size of maybe 8 or 9 of these smaller huts, and it just kind of it's just this rectangular building that runs right up against the cliff face.
Design? What does it kind of look like? Design-wise?
It has kind of those narrow sloping roofs that just
Taper roofs,
that
yeah.
that taper at the end.
Okay. Sort of temple-ish. We're going to a temple.
So I mean we're talking about this kind of thing.
Okay. How far away does everything kind of look?
I mean, you guys walk out of this door and you are on a path.
Oh, okay.
So it's 15 yards to the nearest of the little huts.
Well, let's go knock. Announce our presence to the world.
One
All right.
exhaustion point to death.
I pick up.
I'm merely indicating the urgency of the situation.
I'll pick up Vera again.
Hold up. Dotted around the island. So all of these paths are lined with small scrub bushes, very neatly cut, very neatly kept. And you can see small orchards here and there.
I assume since it's winter, they're out of season.
Correct. There is no fruit currently growing
Some really
on
cool winter fruit.
any of them. Yeah. So, that is what you see.
Okay.
So you're going up to the nearest hut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll scoop up Vera. Go up to the nearest hut and just knock.
Okay. No response.
Open the door.
Okay.
Just kind of open the door. Inside is just one monk. It's another human wearing the same kind of robes, shaved head, kind of this pockmarked face. It looks like acid burns or somehow burned.
Me and Cormier should chat.
Warmth inside? What's inside the building?
Is there a fire?
Inside the building, there is no fire.
Is there a fireplace?
There's no fireplace. There are 4 small cots, essentially.
How warm is it inside?
It's cold.
Is there...
They're all using
This
Zen
this
crap.
monk is just laying flat on one of the cots, eyes closed, frost kind of rhyming his eyebrows.
Are there blankets on the cots?
Building.
Nope.
Nice. Gotta love monks.
Big building.
Do the cots look flammable?
Yeah?
Times, man. She's about to die.
I have a book. Let's burn it.
I'd rather burn a bed. Can we put that on the t-shirt, please? We have a book. Let's burn it.
Are you setting
what
a
is
bed on fire, or
what is
are you burning a
everything-
book?
Is there like a brazier or a fireplace someplace that you can start a fire, like a cooking fire?
Okay, what's the
or-
material of this place?
So the building is wood
Okay.
I don't want to burn the
Set a
hut down.
fire.
stone foundation and cornerstones.
Okay.
There's a chamber pot.
Set it on fire.
It's metal.
Let's
We
do
going
it.
to set
Cool.
that kind of fire?
Hey, this is what the pioneers did. They burned
You guys-
heat. We're
They did.
good.
You guys are well accustomed to
I know.
dung fires.
just commenting. That kind of fire. I'm cool with it.
Great.
I'm
growing
gonna
up.
start hacking a piece off the cot.
Okay, with your dagger.
yeah, sure.
Okay, you just kind of start a pile of wood
The book
shavings.
is boring. Burn the book.
Almania, what are you doing?
I'm just
Don't
gonna
burn books.
Yeah, I'm just literally gonna grab the chamber
Wait a
pot
minute. Wait a minute.
Pull out
Wait a
the
freaking
book.
minute.
Okay.
I still have one
It's-
torch.
and drop it in.
You still have
It's
a torch?
partially full.
Okay.
You
Yep.
drop the book in.
It's a good thing this is.
The contents of the chamber pot are frozen.
Nice.
Dang. Our charm.
I'm gonna stick the book in there, and then I'm gonna cast Burning Hands. And set
I'm
it on
gonna
fire.
I can do firebolt. You waste a spell slot.
You realize that's a 15-foot cone, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Are you, did you
I'll
want to
do
burning
firebolt
No, Almania
and just
called it.
start it.
Almania, you're sitting over there
I was
shaving
standing
off
there
the legs
arguing
of the
with her.
cot.
I'm just sticking it in there.
Almania walks over, drops the book into the thing, puts her hands in there, and just a column of fire just
The internet is my
launches
witness. I was not a murder hobo.
launches out of the pot and
I've been a murder hobo
splashes
this whole time.
against the ceiling. Does it specifically ignite flammable objects that are not being worn? Or sorry,
Yeah.
inflammable? Cool.
The entire hut's gonna burn down.
The roof is on fire.
Nice.
Not really on fire, but it's
You can
it caught.
frostbolt that.
You've lost your eyebrows.
I had eyebrows.
You're a dragonborn.
Yeah.
You don't have eyebrows.
I don't have eyebrows.
All right,
Scales are
you're fine.
I'm pretty chill.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Your scales on your face and kind of a chin area. This is all just a little bit scorched,
Nice.
and you can't see it, but your feathers that you
Singeing a
have
little
like
bit.
kind of sticking out are like one of them just has like a little candle light on it, and it's just kind of
That only
slowly burning
to
down.
Wile E. Coyote.
Well, now it happens to people who cast burning hands inside a chamber pot.
Monk.
Talia
Inside
curses
flammable
just as
box.
loudly and profusely as she did when she was afflicted by the rudeness spell. And starts
you're too
putting
tired
the
to
fire
No,
out
I'm like, oh, thank you.
Okay.
that's on the roof.
Just chucking ice beam or
Yeah.
whatever that spell is called. Frost.
Ray of Frost.
Ray of Frost.
Yeah, I'll just chuck frost at it until
you
it stops.
quickly-
I don't want to
okay.
burn this person's house down.
Well, you are fine with burning their beds where they sleep.
Okay.
Pants or something else.
Gideon.
The chamber pot is burning quite merrily.
Nice.
It rapidly begins to smell pretty bad in here.
Okay, I'm gonna grab Mom Mayweather and stick her in front of it and just say,
Okay.
"Get warm."
You, Vera, and Cormier just kind of huddle around this pot. Just kind of
Is the
I
monk
am
slowly,
very familiar with this
slowly
type of
warming
fire,
up.
and it's making my hallucinations to my young days come
Yeah.
back even stronger.
Oh yeah, no, you remember the streets before you had tamed
Is the
them.
monk appeared to notice at all, or is he just still
Roll a perception check.
After that, deciding it's
Come in, we burn your house.
down around your ear?
When I said I would burn the world down, that was a hypothetical.
17.
17 does not appear awake.
Okay. Nice.
Even after all of this, appears to
Love
be
monks.
dead or
They're the
sleeping
best.
soundly.
Monks are the
This
best.
Zen thing is deep.
Yeah.
So you guys all huddle around this chamber pot. It slowly starts to warm up in here. Most of you are I mean, you the room feels warmer. You're also dressed in soaked and then frozen clothing.
We gotta let him melt over.
So the fire is really not doing much for you. Your bodies are not warming.
I assume our hands are getting a little warmer in our faces.
Hands and faces, yes.
We'll absorb it all.
When you get wet and then frozen,
Oh, I've been there. No, it's
You're-
not
Yeah.
pleasant.
it's still going to kill you,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
In fact, when things get wet after having
really have
been
to peel it
frozen,
all
you're
off.
like even
Yes.
colder than
Yeah.
you were at the beginning.
Great, I'll start stripping down.
Okay. Almania
can't move.
strips down to her small clothes.
Yeah, I'll do the same for Vera.
And stick my
Sorry,
back up against
this is
the fire.
Mayweather.
Get as warm as possible.
It's really
I'm
funny
not
because
looking.
it looks like she's carrying all kinds of adventuring equipment, but as you kind of undo like little petticoats and undo some
Stays
laces here and
here.
there, like just a bag of coins and a bag of coins
I
and a
like
bag
hide
of
it all
coins.
over in case I have to drop some.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like an American tourist traveling in
Yeah.
Europe. Body belt.
Yes.
You just find bag after... How many coins are you carrying?
I have 300 gold on me.
Okay, so you find 3 just kind of sizable bags of coin. Actually, 100 coins in a single bag is quite a bit. You find about 6 different bags of
I've
coins.
split it everywhere. So
Just in various places.
There's
And
some
it
in my
takes
boots.
forever, and there's layer after layer. Eventually, you get her down to her small clothes as
My
well.
corsets.
I'll assume you guys strip Cormier.
Yeah.
I don't.
Morthis will strip Cormier. So
10
now...
minutes to get out of plate armor.
So now you're in a room where there is a sleeping or dead monk. You're all huddled around, occasionally throwing like another fragment of the cot into the chamber pot
Yep.
just to keep the fire going.
We'll
And you're
pay
all
for
just
that. I can
kind
pay
of
for that.
sitting in your underwear, just shivering around this fire.
Hell yeah.
Okay. You all lose 2 points of exhaustion.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm
sweet.
good.
I'm back. Okay.
No more dead. Well,
I
still
have
3
no
points of
exhaustion.
exhaustion.
Neither do I. Okay.
I don't know what that
so
does.
that Cormier's
Do I
down to
get my
1.
hit points back?
Yes, your hit points are no longer halved, but whatever hit points you have now
That's what you're at.
is out of the mix. So
I
Nice.
stop hallucinating.
Yeah.
I kind of feel sad that I've stopped hallucinating.
you guys huddle there for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Don't say anything at
Just
all.
hallucinating
Yep.
nice things.
It's getting hard to breathe in here.
That's
There's a hole in the roof.
There isn't.
There is because she burned it.
No, we started
It
a
takes
fire.
a while to burn through
Are there any windows?
wood. Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the door and crack it
Open the door.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There are windows.
Okay,
I'll
can I go and
apologize.
crack open a window?
Yeah.
Mosquito
Nice.
cross draft flowing through.
They don't open.
Okay.
You're just gonna kind of
No,
Smash
just
through it?
open
No, I'll just go to
door.
the door.
go to the
No.
door. Just
Do I want to smash the window?
No.
No, I'll go to the door.
okay. You go to the door, crack it open. The
What did
cloud
Tiny
of
do to you?
the cloud of smoke that's been building up at the ceiling here, and then slowly getting thicker and thicker, starts to dissipate out the door.
Good, we're not going to asphyxiate ourselves
Yeah.
in here.
Sweet.
Great.
Just stay
great.
there.
Let's have a moment of pause.
Sweet.
This is bullshit.
Hate this.
And you can have toasting spells for gloves.
Toasting
I mean, I
spells?
can burn them.
I don't know anything about magic.
What do I got toasting wise?
Well, you're
See what
you
kind of
already
bread
did
and butter
quite
we
a
can
bit of
make.
toasting.
I don't think Morthus has got much.
Nah, that stuff's gonna work.
Wait, you said there weren't any blankets on these cots?
Nope.
Is there any fabric in the
Is
room
it
at all?
like a straw
cots, I
tick?
assume, are
Like,
made of
do
fabric.
they have?
The cots look like some sort of
Are they
wool or
You mean
Do they weave their own
mattresses?
beds?
The ticking.
no. There's no mattress. Think. Excuse me.
Was
So
it like
what I'm
canvas?
imagining is just, you know, when you go on a Boy Scout trip, just
Sure.
that dark green canvas that's
Never
just
been on a
stretched
Boy Scout
between-
trip.
Right, I'm
For obvious reasons.
very thin fabric stretched very tightly between wood.
I was hoping that
I go and I
wood frame.
start
like
to
they wove
I
their
cut
own beds.
out that
you know?
little canvas thing and make myself like a little moo.
Okay, it's super thin, not terribly insulating,
But I just woke up
but
in my
it's-
underwear.
but it's something. So
And I
yes, you
refuse to be in my
very
underwear.
quickly wrap up. Oh, I forgot to mention at the beginning, Devin will be here at some point.
Oh yeah.
We
and
think.
We hope.
I don't think I ever told you guys. Beth was not leaving the campaign, sacrificing herself to leave the campaign.
That's
She'll
true.
be back. We're talking about a new character. She just
Yes.
happens to not be able to make it this week.
Yes.
So, sorry. Anyway,
I was
We're all
hoping
huddled
she'd just
around
be
a
like
fire.
a crazy monk and it'd be super fun.
Yeah, I was like a
A necromantic.
She really wanted to return to the true roots of her original character.
No. No.
We'll get there.
No.
Great. Okay.
Just gonna keep
So,
warming up for a while.
Did we?
Here's the question, though.
How big is the components pouch?
I assume it's like
what kinds of things do you have to fit in there? You have to fit in quite a bit,
Yeah.
and there's going to
stuff.
need to be
This is-
some
and it's
kind
weird
of
stuff.
framework in there so that you can keep it
separate.
organized and everything separate. So I'd probably say
Like
Assumed as like a fanny pack.
probably something about half the thickness of this,
Okay.
but very similar, where you can kind of
Unzip your components.
open it up, and it's got like a shelf of things here and bottles and things holding it
Okay.
in, and then a whole row
It's like
of
a
things in different
briefcase.
little compartments there.
A components
Okay.
briefcase.
I was not expecting.
And since I don't have a lot of spells yet, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have like a ton of
Satchel.
components in there.
Not a-
So it
not
would
a
have been
whole lot, no.
reasonable for my sample pain candles to be in there.
Yes. Whatever was in your scholar's pack is whatever is listed on a scholar's pack,
It's just calligrapher's tools and a quill.
which would include the magic quill that Sam Valheim gave you.
Probably.
So yeah, that's all gone.
What Josh giveth, Josh taketh away.
Whatever.
Indeed.
We'll talk about that later.
Talk
No, you're not.
about how she's gonna murder your characters later. It's okay. Yeah.
Well, I'll pull out my. I always keep my special journal in my pocket, so
Yep.
I will pull out a piece of paper from the back of my journal, and I will start writing a message to. I don't know how this works, so I'm going to try to write a message to Shalrona, but I'm not sure how it's going to work. Because I don't know if the wax only works for Sam Valheim or not.
Uh-huh.
We didn't really talk about that.
No.
Him and I. So, I'm gonna hope that maybe it works to Shalrona. I don't know.
Okay.
Just gonna end up at Sam Valheim's office. and
It could
just be
end up
like,
at Sam
"Holy shit,
Valheim's."
they're
So
on
what are
an
you writing on
island."
your note?
I'm going to write, we are... Hang on. Because it's 30 words, right?
Sure. I don't remember what I said.
I'm gonna stick my clothes by the fire so that they start to melt. Thaw.
Same.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to write, at Monk Island, need to rest. Please wait.
Okay.
You can reply to this message. And I will...
What time is it? It's...
I will seal it up
midday.
with the wax and send it away.
Okay. You do that.
Okay. I do that.
I'm going to toddle up again and tap this.
And I addressed it to Shilrona. I don't know how this works, but I addressed it to Shilrona on the Charon in the middle of the inland sea.
Yep.
In a very Harry Potter fashion.
Yep.
Heck yes.
Vera?
I go and I tap the said monk on the cheek here as well.
Okay. Opens his eyes, looks over at you,
I'm still wrapped in the remains of one of the gods.
takes in all of you guys.
We apologize
Sorry.
for this.
It was cold and we thought you didn't really care about material possessions at this moment anyway, so...
I was hallucinating things.
She was honestly about to die. I'm very sorry. She can recompense you for
Thank you
whatever
very much for your
you spent.
assistance.
Lays back down and closes his eyes.
Nice.
Looks really frustrated.
Fucking love this island.
It's a good spiritual experience.
He's
for
not
him.
so zen that he can't be frustrated.
No, he looks frustrated.
Sweet.
I've got characteristics for each monk.
Oh, good.
If I poke... I'm frustrated on here. Frustrated. That's his character. Frustrated. If I poke my head outside, how far away does the biggest... Like the big temple building look?
The temple building.
The temple building.
Couple hundred feet.
Oh, not bad.
Should we head there?
I'm
Since-
not
Yeah,
going
it's
there
not
in
a
my
huge island.
unmentionables.
Okay, yeah. I'm just worried, like,
But
how
Mrs.
cold will we
Mayweather,
get
your
between here and there?
clothes
I assume
are
it's a
so
couple hundred feet and we're
soaked.
booking it. It's not going to be bad.
I'm sorry that
Yeah,
I had to do
if
that,
you
but
ran it-
I hope you understand that
Yeah,
it was
you'd be
to
fine.
save
As
your
long as you
life.
were warm when you started.
Nice.
I am not running 100 feet in public. My unmentionables. I think public.
You're like an old Victorian grandma. I love it.
I'm now imagining Vera, like, running with this olive green
I know,
cape.
that's what I currently have right now. That's
Just
like, I've
running
wrapped it like
across.
twice and
I'm
tied
going
it
to
here.
pull off my nice cloak and, like, drop it on your head. Just be like, take it.
Isn't it wet
Isn't
too?
it wet?
Yes. But
It's been about an
It's
hour,
my
so, like,
magical one.
you've wrung everything. Everything has melted. You've wrung everything out. It's all still pretty damp, but it is no longer soaked.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
getting back
fine.
into my clothes then.
All right.
Alright, fair. I'll take it back then. Okay. Put it back on my shoulders.
I have a feeling we're going to have to fix this fella's roof at some point.
With what?
What did you
I don't
do
know.
to the roof?
I didn't do anything.
Amalia, did you explode the roof?
She did.
A little.
It would have been really
You know
impressive
what?
if we were fighting something.
I set something on fire. We were
Extreme
freezing.
circumstances sometimes call
We
for
almost burned
extreme
this man's
measures.
house down. Yeah, we almost died from the cold.
Did you burn the book?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
sensible.
we're
Thank
going to talk about that.
Okay. It was a boring ass book. I threw it into a chamber pot. I lit it on fire, and now we are all alive. You're very welcome.
Do you know some of the best books I have ever come across
Are
are the boring books? They have all of the best information in them.
It was a boring
There
book.
was a
I set it on fire.
million of them.
It was
I'll
great.
get you another one later, dearie. I promise.
There is an entire stack of boring books that you can have once we leave. But until then, if we all want to get off the island, we're probably going to have to stay alive for a significant amount of time. So I say we run to the big temple thing, and we see if we can find anybody who will, talk to us. Talk to big
we need
black dude over here.
Can we take
We need to figure out what we're doing here.
take flaming chamber
Because-
pod with us?
It's metal, but go ahead.
There are a lot of things here that I want to put in kind of the quote log, but they're coming too fast.
Well, if only it was recorded so you could go back and get them later.
This is fair.
Yes.
Sure, grab it.
I take the canvas that I was previously using as a
As a
wrap,
holder.
and I use it as a pot holder. Pick up the chamber pot. Ooh, toasty.
So you're gonna have to be careful. Actually, at this point,
It's embers, right?
at this point, it's just the wood. I was gonna say with like the liquid inside moving, you're gonna have to be careful to not like split. But it's
probably charred.
been burning for an hour, so like there's not a lot of sloshing happening
have a nice
anymore.
little toasty.
So yeah, you've got a chamber pot. It's probably about this big, and so yeah, you've got that.
Warm.
This is why I wish we had. This is going to be my next commission for Alice. I want you to draw
Chamber
just
pots.
this group running across the snow trying to. All right, so you've got a chamber
Sorry,
pot.
Alice.
Anything else? Any particular preparations the rest of you are making?
I'm gonna be warm. I don't know what you guys are doing.
I'll be fine if I run.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
warm.
I'm just getting back into my clothes and putting my
Yep.
heavy
Yeah,
cloak
same.
on.
So you're all dressed up again. It's damp again, but it's not that
Feels
soaking
nasty.
wet
It's
after
like
jumping
putting on
into the
your
ocean. Okay.
Sweaty
All
socks.
warm here because I'm holding it against my front.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Great, let's book it.
Quick.
All right, you guys just gonna burst out of the door and just start charging down the path, which is not. I mean, it's cleanly swept.
Yeah, it's a clear path.
You know, you kind of slip here and there on some black ice, but otherwise, you make it all the way to the main building, which does not have a door. It's just kind of an open doorway,
Nice.
and you guys all come crashing in to sudden warmth.
Nice.
It is warm in here.
See,
I feel
we
bad
should have
about the
just
chamber
pressed on instead of burning that guy's house down.
Brother-
Hell yeah.
I feel bad about the chamber pot now.
That monk is gonna wake up and need to go and just be like, where is my chamber?
I just set it down very gently right in the doorway of the temple. And I leave it there.
You do that.
No, if we need to leave the building, it'll still be here.
I'll set it on fire again.
If we need to take a leak, it's right there.
Exactly. Do temples have restrooms?
No,
Of course not.
you're on an island, honey.
You set the chamber pot down in the just to the right of the door of the temple. Yes. You guys are standing in think kind of a Greek
Sweet Illyrio.
Greek or Roman household where it's just kind of a square. You've got kind of pillars ringing the inside, but otherwise there's just an open air courtyard.
Nice.
In this hallway that you guys are in, you can see out into this courtyard, and the hallway extends, maybe 50 or 60 feet down straight ahead of you, and then about 30 feet, and then it hooks around a corner off to your left. You see more sculptures, and these ones are definitely of a humanoid form wearing the same style of robes as you've seen on the two monks that you've encountered so far, but with a bull's head.
Like a minotaur?
Kind of. Go ahead and roll just a straight intelligence check. I'll give you history.
It doesn't matter. It's a natural one.
It's a jeez. What's
Very
the total?
cold.
What's the total though? It's an ability check.
A history, that would be a 6.
Also, do you still have 1 point of your...
Nope.
It doesn't matter. It's a 1. It can't go lower. Maybe?
Okay.
Cows.
You should call them that to their face. In the courtyard, it's all of this, the floor beneath your feet and the courtyard here itself is this finely polished, large, maybe 5x5 stone slabs that just extend over this whole courtyard and the hallways that you guys are in and can see.
Gray stone, white stone. Talking about like alabaster. Or are we talking like cobblestones that have been polished?
Think like
Right.
Forbidden Palace.
Okay.
Point of order, I forgot to say this last time, but since Lyra left me her holy symbol,
Yes.
I have just been wearing it.
Okay.
Openly.
So you have that.
Yep.
In the courtyard, you see several dozen just kind of small, huddled forms.
Small baby initiates, little babies.
And they are all sitting just cross-legged, kind of folded over on themselves into just this very small ball. So you can just see a whole bunch of just orange-robed figures scattered across this courtyard. None of them are moving. You can see just kind of breath.
I'm guessing these guys fall into hibernation every year.
That would be smart. I mean, it's cold.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have woken the fellow whose house we burned down.
I'm sure he'll go back to sleep. It's like a bear, you
But
know?
then
You wake up from
he
hibernation
wouldn't
and it
have
goes back to
known
bed.
that it was us.
Morthus, you said you had connections here.
Kind of.
Or did we quite literally burn those bridges?
I knew of someone that was here.
Well, do you know who's in charge? Like, who should we talk to?
Never actually been here.
Well, I suggest that we perhaps wake up one of these lovely little people and ask for directions.
The little man that was at the gate was very helpful.
He,
In a philosophical,
I didn't
he was
remember
insanity
that.
sort of way, but sure.
Somewhat cryptic.
Well, perhaps
No.
one of these
Cryptic?
fellows will be
No.
cryptically helpful
What is
as well.
wrong with you,
I go up
Amelia?
to
You
one
must
of
need
the
to rest.
bald figures.
You're
Maybe.
not yourself.
As you break away from the party, you hear, "That does not belong in here."
What?
And you all just kind of turn around, and like 6 inches behind you, just standing in the doorway, is this very tall woman wearing the same kind of poorly dyed, unevenly dyed orange robes, just kind of standing there. I think she's taller than any of you guys.
I'm
Or
really
any-
tall. I'm almost 6 foot.
Almost 6 feet?
Not huge. I'm like
Not
5'8".
huge. Yeah. Okay.
Cormier is super tall.
Taller than any of you, very thin, stands just back ramrod straight, and you can see that she's pointing at the chamber pot.
I'm so sorry. I was using
I'll
that
just
as
move
a
that outside.
you know, like those potatoes that
Well,
you keep
now
in your
that
pockets.
you've begun, you can finish. Many of the huts require emptying. So, you may begin. The rest of you, why are you not in the courtyard?
Sorry, who are you?
I'm sorry. We're travelers? Talia, Rusandol of Onishur, at your service. These are my friends and companions.
Congratulations. Why are you not in the courtyard?
Because we don't belong here. We just got here.
I didn't even know we were supposed to be in the
Then
courtyard.
why are you here?
There's a ship down in the harbor, and we were hoping we were sent for some supplies. And our tall, dark friend here had, Why are... You don't know. You were dead. Why are we
I
here?
was dead.
Get
It was
supplies.
pretty sweet. Who are you?
Brother Gypsum informs me that the ship has sailed long since.
What? What?
How long ago? Long
Your,
since.
your ship, it is gone.
As of
I
when?
understood that you were here as initiates.
Oh, no. No. I didn't mean to laugh, but no.
Sorry, who? I'm still waiting to figure out who you are.
I'm Sister Cadmian.
Hell yes! Sorry. I apologize, producer.
Is that Mary or Amanya?
Mary.
I know.
I made her! I love her! Yes! Sorry.
How long ago did our ship frankly abandon us?
Half an hour ago.
I should have known they were shifty. I
But
really
I sent
should
a
have.
note.
How did you send a note?
Sambleham gave me the...
Oh, isn't that to talk to him?
Yeah, that might be.
Oh,
I
dear.
don't know. We didn't really talk about it. I was cold.
Well, we have been, I believe the nautical term is, marooned on your island.
That is the nautical term. Good
I'm
job.
so proud of myself.
Yes, it is the way of things.
We'll just drop people off here?
Robes will be got for you.
What?
In the meantime, you may join the others in the courtyard.
What are they doing in the courtyard?
They are practicing their breathing.
Oh!
Well,
And I'm just kind of like thinking through a lot of shifty memories. Like, I had to learn how to breathe when I was in bard school. So I'm good, but thanks.
I don't
Roll a
think
deception check.
I don't think breathing ever happened in my
well, you know
training
what,
with Kelfir.
lovies?
Do you,
As they say, any port in a storm, and I will go and I will join
14.
the initiates, and I will sit down.
14 for deception.
Excellent.
I
You should do quite well.
Good.
You may
like
join
it.
the others in the courtyard. Okay. Yes.
I'm more of a books sort of person than a breathing sort of person.
Do you not need breath?
No, I need to breathe, but I'm better at
You
reading.
may join the others in the courtyard.
I think we gotta join the
I'm
others
already
in the
there.
courtyard, y'all.
Did you try to leave?
I was going towards the courtyard.
As you kind of turned and went towards the courtyard, a hand reached out and grabbed your shoulder. You may finish entering the chamber pots.
Where do you put them? Usually.
Over the edge.
Can I have some dry clothes before I do that?
Robes will be got for you, but you may begin.
When?
She kind of
Will robes be got
turns you around, hands you the chamber pot, and ushers you back out into the cold wind.
How many initiates die on the road up here?
Confused.
People are just kind of marooned here. How many of the initiates never get to the top?
As many as we don't see.
Well, that's also very cryptic. Oh well, I'm gonna go into the courtyard.
Okay. Once you step out of kind of the roofed area here, it's cold again.
Okay. Cold. Alright.
Walk out, kind of sit down,
Yeah, I'm gonna
cross your
try to
legs.
mimic.
You kind of... You're looking around. You're not sure how nobody else in the square... Everybody seems to be breathing. And then somebody kind of walks over to you and hands something down to you, and it's just this very small cup of some kind of steaming hot liquid.
Down it.
Just straight down?
Yeah.
Okay.
No questions.
Take 4 points of fire damage.
Nice. I'm a dragonborn. Do I got like scales partially in my mouth to protect me?
Not in your mouth, no.
From lightning?
Yeah, from lightning.
Lightning damage
If you
is
had
different.
if I had handed you a cup of lightning, you'd be fine.
Okay.
You wouldn't. Don't drink a cup of lightning. It's not good. So you take 4 points of fire damage as it just burns
Hell yeah.
its way down. And it doesn't taste great.
I'm not surprised.
And it helps. It's just, okay. And then as you continue to look around trying to figure out what everybody's secret here is, you notice that all of these people are huddled around similar cups.
Oh shit.
And the breath that you thought that you were seeing is actually just the steaming from the cups. And they're all just super huddled around this. Yeah. So you're going to get real cold in about 10 minutes.
Okay, can I go back inside the building then?
In about 10 minutes. Talia. Cadmium is standing there. She's ushered Vera out the door.
Considering my tutelage, like, I kind of feel like Talia would just be sort of like confused, obviously, but also used to this sort of treatment.
Sure.
So,
Use the
I'll
scholarly
just...
side.
Yes, treatment that expects
Yeah.
absolute obedience.
All right. I'll just head out into the courtyard.
Okay.
Do I get a similar cup?
You do.
Excellent. What's it smell like?
Like green tea?
Ooh,
Okay.
grass. Sounds like
It's
matcha.
not ginger.
Okay. Get the other people. Just sitting there. Just,
You sit down.
just kind of sip a little bit.
You sip a little bit. It gets cold pretty quickly.
Okay.
Stop steaming. You kind of look around. Everybody else is just still steaming, but yours is now lukewarm. About a minute later, it's just tepid.
Fireball.
Yes? Fireball? No? Okay. You sure?
That's cheating. If I had prestidigitation, but I don't. That's
Yeah,
what
that would-
prestidigitation is good for.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
I do have prestidigitation. I'm done.
Vera, what do you do after you get ushered out the door?
I've just been given free permission to snoop and almost unlimited access to human waste.
Oh,
Those are oddly specific.
Oh no!
And
Oh no!
What have I done?
this is an attempt
What have I done?
to humiliate me.
Yeah, welcome to monks.
So, I will
You
pick
have a
up
chamber pot.
said flaming chamber pot.
It's no
It
longer.
is still flaming.
Oh, is it flaming?
But, I mean, it's
I'm gonna
embers at the
hold
bottom
it,
at this
like,
point.
for warmth purposes.
Yeah.
I walk up and I will return it to said room where it's supposed to be.
Okay, you have disposed of the waste inside it, so yeah, you go back and you kind of set it down.
I will. Is there snow on the ground? Incidentally, the
Yes.
paths are swept.
The paths are swept, but the trees in the small orchards that dot the places in between the paths are covered in snow. The hedges that line all of the paths are covered in snow.
What about, so you walk up to a hut and the other areas around the hut, is there snow piled up around them?
Yeah, it looks like it's been kind of brushed underneath the hedges.
So I'm going to do my duty and go from house to house, and I will, behind each hut, dig a hole in the snow, and there I shall leave the contents right up against the side of each house
Cool.
and bury it in snow.
Alrighty, you do that.
That ain't going over the edge. And as I enter each hut, I'm going to snoop through each one very methodically.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
Don't suck.
It's double digits.
It is.
For
12.
the first time in 2 sessions.
I know.
12.
No, hun.
All of them are identical. All of them have just 4 small cots. Some of them have monks in them. Most do not. The monks, 2 or 3 others are asleep. Most of them are awake, but they are sitting in their cot, back to the wall, eyes closed, eyes open as you enter. Kind of take the chamber pot, look around. You leave. No reaction.
Anything otherwise interesting? Personal effects?
No.
They're monks.
Probably not a lot.
I imagine Joe
spare
just like has like
clothes?
little like grass people that
No
she's
spare
made,
clothes.
like tiny little dolls.
Am I getting more
not
points of
here,
exhaustion
though.
from being out in the cold for this long?
It's only been this
Yeah. Go ahead and just give me 2 more con saves.
A 12
Okay.
and a 4.
Okay. You gain +1 point of
The jail's
exhaustion.
filling up.
So that's going to...
What are you at now?
4.
Shouldn't you be back? I thought you were at... Oh, no, you were at 5 -2 +1. So your hit point maximum is halved again.
I'm gonna die just to spite this lady.
And you should probably get out of the cold before your speed is reduced to 0 while everybody else is busy.
Don't judge Sister Cadmium. I love her.
Oh, I'm judging her hard.
She's my girl.
How long is this gonna take to go
I had
to
a
the
picture
chat?
of her.
Cormir will practice his breathing face down in the courtyard.
I was gonna say, really? How are you gonna finish that sentence, Josh?
Morthus. Why am I rolling for him? He doesn't seem as uncomfortable as the rest of you. This is still pretty severe. So he goes out, sits down in the courtyard, has trouble. Can't quite actually fold his legs. Like, can't sit. He's not flexible enough to actually sit cross-legged properly. So he's just kind of sitting there, just sitting on his butt, his knees tucked up to his chest, holding his cup of whatever tea that they've given him.
Is there snow in the courtyard?
No, the courtyard is very neatly swept.
Okay, so there's...
I'm sorry. Actually, out in the courtyard, you
Yeah.
can see. So there's 4 corners of the building, but one of the corners ends at the edge of the cliff.
Okay.
So this is at this point, this is roughly what the building that you're in is shaped.
Okay.
This is how it is shaped. And then it just kind of ends roughly at the cliff edge.
I'm gonna heat my cup up with prestidigitation.
Your cup is empty of contents.
But I can still warm it up.
But you drank it all.
Non-living material.
Oh, okay.
It's just a not alive
You're
material.
holding a warm cup.
Yes. Okay.
The
I'll
last
hold my
few
warm
huts, I just used my flint and tinder to light said chamber pots. Like the
Okay.
last one. And use it as my warmer again.
Okay. So
And I go
occasionally
back to the temple.
Okay.
No, I go back to the temple holding the last chamber pot.
Love it.
You end up going in a door on the opposite side. You rolled a 12 on your investigation? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not exactly hidden. There does appear to be a door. Sorry, there's no door, but just a kind of a frame, and you can see steps that just go down.
Go. And Leave said flaming chamber pot outside said door. And I open said
Vera
door.
was here. All right, let's keep going.
Nope. She did not give me a time limit on this.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
How long are we expected to sit here doing nothing? Because
So
Talia's
you
going to get bored real fast.
How fast?
I mean, Amania's getting bored, too.
Intelligence of 17, how fast will she get bored if she has to sit there and do nothing?
Why do smart people have to be impatient?
She's also not very wise.
She has the wisdom modifier of a dump truck.
So she has
How about we
ADHD. How's that?
No, currently I'm the
You
dump
tell
truck.
me, it's your character. How long does it take her to decide not to do this anymore?
Well, I mean, also she's scared of not
my
following
strength and
orders.
wisdom are also a dump truck.
I would say maybe like 10 minutes, and then she's going to start like looking around to see what else is going on and wondering what she can do. Like, is the sister orange person still around?
You raise your head up from your kind of tucked space, turn around, and something just smacks you on the back of the head.
Totally used to that, too.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
To Sister Cadmium does.
And Sister Cadmium strides right past you, and you can see that she's just holding just a long, thin piece of wood, just kind of walking up and down the rows, and it just clobbers you in the back of the head, and you reel from it, and it stings, especially given how cold you are. It's awful. You raising your hand?
She looks like that.
Your hand gets whacked.
Okay.
I love her. She makes me
Tuck back up.
Yep.
Okay.
I love her. She's great.
You guys are there for about an hour.
Her favorite small baby.
I'm snooping.
I know you're snooping. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
I have a warm cup.
You do have a warm cup.
Natural
The
20.
cold cup.
Natural 20.
Hell yeah.
Do 13?
13. Okay. You guys are there for another hour.
More prestidigitation on my
Roll
cup.
another con save. I'll give you a +2 to yours. Because you've got a warm cup.
I do have a warm cup.
19.
19.
This one isn't great. Not bad, actually. 14?
You take a point of exhaustion.
Okay.
Increasing DC. You guys are there for another hour. Con save.
19 again.
19.
22.
22.
I've entered my stubborn phase at this point.
I can do this. I can do it better.
Amania's bored out. Amania's like kind of falling asleep. I'm basically just like...
You falling asleep?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm just like bored out of my mind.
Cool. You're going down the stairs?
I use my last torch and I light it in the last chamber pot. Hey, you didn't add me with the rest of the group.
So many.
This is just like Kaya not getting the Vreem thing. This is great.
Yeah. So you go down the steps.
Mm-hmm. With my little torch.
Other than your little torch, it is pitch black down here. And you continue down and down and down.
Is it cold or is it warm?
It is actually getting warmer.
Okay.
You continue down and down and down and down.
I'm trying to walk quietly. I know I can't hide the light, but I'm going to walk.
Sure, roll a stealth check just for anything trying to hear you coming. Jesus.
Lord in heaven. 7.
7.
Nearly all of my d20s are in there.
Do you need more?
No, I have more.
This is
but
my good one.
Shameful.
You go down and down and down and down until you're pretty sure you're probably almost at the level of the sea. You've gone down hundreds of steps.
Do I hear ocean?
Roll a perception check.
What do I hear in general? I'm listening.
Sure, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay. 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. You do. You hear the sound of waves. Sorry, not waves, just an occasional crash of water in high volumes. You also hear a sound. Just imagine kind of that sound effect in movies when something just almost instantaneously freezes. Just kind of that crackling. Yeah, kind of like that. Just this on and off.
Start to
Is
try
it
and
warmer
follow
down there, though?
that sound.
You continue down, and eventually it levels off, and you are just in a room with barrel upon barrel upon barrel. And it looks like just... I'm sorry, as you were going down the steps...
Cormier wants to be.
Yeah, as you were going down the steps, you notice they're all kind of worn down in the middle. Right, many feet. Originally, they must have been extraordinarily well carved, but just the number of feet that have gone down it have worn them down. But the walls and the ceiling were natural cavern. Looks like it was probably hacked at. So it's not smooth natural cavern, but you get down to the bottom and all of the walls and the floors are just what you would find if you were spelunking. The floors have been smoothed somewhat, but you can see exactly where the paths have just been trod. Doesn't look like any particular effort has been given to actually smoothing all of the floors. It's just, again, the amount of traffic has smoothed very definite paths through this. Lots of barrels. You kind of continue out into the next
Can I...
kind of an intersection of 3 tunnels, and one goes kind of straight ahead, one goes to the left, one goes to the right.
Can I, quick before I go any further, tap a barrel and try and figure out what's inside? Liquid, solid?
It seems fairly dense. You can't quite tell what's in it. It's clearly filled with something.
Yeah, it doesn't have a hollow tap to it.
Definitely not hollow.
So you said I've reached a cross-section. I can either go forward, left, or right.
Forward, left, or right.
Alright. I'm going to just peek down the left.
It kind of curves away out of sight a little bit and past the edge of your torch.
So is all of this full of barrels, or are these just empty
Just that
paths?
initial room, probably 30 or 40 barrels in there, and you just kind of walked a path in between them, and now you're in this intersection of tunnels.
Alright, I'm going to peek down the front if I were to go forward.
Each of these goes past the
beyond my
edge of
sight.
your
Okay,
light.
then I will take a left first.
Take a left. You continue maybe 40, 50 feet kind of around this light curve, and then suddenly the cavern opens up, and it is fairly well lit in here. Dominating kind of the center of the room are several very long, very thick wooden tables with mounds and mounds of something on them. And in the kind of it's broken up into 2 almost lobes of the cavern. To the left, you can see huge copper vats with some kind of liquid bubbling in them. And off to the kind of the right lobe, you see kind of like wall barrels, like those ones with like a diameter of 12 feet.
Like a brewery.
Yeah. And yeah, this appears to be some kind of brewery chamber.
Oh, no.
Nice.
And sitting...
I will maybe tell Cormier about this.
And sitting at one of the tables, you see a purple-skinned tiefling with a knife. He's coming at you. He's sitting at the table, staring kind of up and off to his left, but rapidly chopping something.
I see a person and I scram.
Okay, you book it back down the corridor.
Yep. I'm going to go back up what would have been forward.
What would have
Out
been
of in
forward.
the barrel.
Okay. So this is the direction that you can hear kind of that occasional just explosion of water against rock. You continue down this for a little ways before you enter, kind of the chamber expands again. Where's my description here? Got it. This cavern, right, you're still on that natural stone, but it slopes downwards until eventually it just cuts off directly into water. Now, you are in an enclosed cavern, but there is ocean water that is just kind of frothing and all riled up. Occasionally, kind of there's a whirlpool that swirls off to one side, and then occasionally it just kind of erupts and splashes onto the stone.
So there's some sort of sea access down
Yeah, from what you see, there's probably some kind of tunnel that goes down and out and eventually accesses the ocean.
That's interesting.
And whatever the tides are doing, it is just causing havoc in here. Littered across the shore where the waves occasionally splash, you can see large fish. There's a dolphin. There's just kind of all kinds of sea life that looks like it's just been hurled up
All
onto
dead.
the shore here. Roll a perception
Dead
check.
or dying? Perception?
Mhm.
23.
23. All of the sea life appears to be dead, but just kind of over the edge, you hear a voice that says, "Hey, help! Hey, is there somebody there? Help!"
I'll be civic-minded. And I will approach said voice.
Okay. You approach to the edge, and there doesn't seem to be anybody there. Whoever was screaming
I'm sneaking
probably
up
slipped
towards
into
it.
the water.
Yeah.
So you've been stealthing the whole time.
Yeah.
So you kind of creep over.
Peek. Do I see a person?
You peek down into the water. You don't see anything. Kind of the ocean is, there's just bubbles everywhere just because of just kind of this ripping current.
Mm-hmm. Hello? I'll call very quietly.
Okay. Suddenly something just bursts out of the surf at you. It's kind of this long green creature. Think of an eel, but kind of at the end, it's just kind of got this small, scrawny humanoid body with just kind of this large opening for a mouth with these sharp teeth all in it.
I run like the wind.
It's got webbed hands with claws on the end, and it leaps out of the surf at you, and it goes, "Help!"
I run like the
Roll
wind.
initiative.
Oh, wait. Am I rolling everything? I don't know how 4 points of exhaustion works. I haven't been rolling properly
4
then.
points of exhaustion
Yeah, you have
is
to-
I haven't
is
been
not
rolling
good.
properly, yeah. I haven't been rolling my perception.
Is initiative
right then.
considered an ability check?
Mhm.
It is?
It's dex.
So yeah, you have
I
disadvantage.
haven't been rolling those perception ones then, right. I completely forgot about that.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
that's fine.
It's 15.
15? Okay, it's gonna go first.
And Vera.
That's only if it's
And
in
I
the
die.
water.
I get eaten by
Okay.
this thing down here. I've got no hit points.
Does a 6 hit your armor class?
No.
Cool. Oh, it gets 2. How about a 5?
No. Well, you say that. I have 10 hit points.
I know you do.
It's gonna eat me.
Run
Your
away.
turn.
I run
As
like
it kind of
the
tries to,
flipping wind. Wait,
it
I disengage
slashes out with you
as
with
a
its claws
bonus
and try to
action.
bite you. You
Is it, am I
disengage.
within melee of it? I don't
Yeah.
get it. Okay. Then I disengage as a bonus action. I only have half speed.
Yep.
And so I'll
Well, let's hope an eel.
dash as
Yeah,
fast
so you can
as
use
I
your
can.
action, so you can
Run
move
away.
a total of 25 feet.
Yes,
Mhm.
after
Okay.
disengaging. So I move 25 feet away as fast as my little feet can
It
run.
starts to just kind of claw its way across. It doesn't seem to have any legs. It just kind of has this elongated eel-like
Thanks,
body
I
at the
hate
end. It only makes it about 10 feet. It's actually, it could dash. It's gonna dash.
Still only 20.
Your turn. It's 5 feet away from you.
I now use my bonus action to dash, and then also dash, and then also
Okay.
use my movement.
You book it out of there, and eventually
Rogues, y'all.
you go around a corner and just you peek around the corner back into the chamber. It doesn't seem to have followed you out of there.
Pleasant. Okay. Did I run forward?
You're now back at kind of that three-way
At the
intersection.
Intersection. I compose myself,
Yeah. You compose yourself.
and am I losing any exhaustion because I'm in the warm this whole time?
And
And I just got some exercise.
it is somewhat warmer down here.
And I have a torch.
I'll cut you down to 2.
Really?
So you've got 2 levels of exhaustion.
You
Thanks.
still have
Because it's still
Yeah, I
the
know,
lingering
but I have my
effects
hit
of
points
having
back.
been almost dead from cold,
Mhm.
but you are no longer almost dead from cold.
Yep.
You could really use a hot bath and a long rest.
Oh, I know.
Totally
but I'm
gonna
taking
happen
advantage of
But-
my
oh, yes.
current freedom.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So I no longer have. So with 2 points, what are the effects? I just want to make sure. I don't make a
So
mistake
you have
again.
disadvantage on ability checks, and your speed is still halved.
Okay,
but that's
good
it.
to know. All right. So I will then take the right corridor.
You're such a rogue. So what would have been right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. I made a little itsy bitsy map.
Okay, so you go around that way, and you get about 10 feet down this tunnel when just a wave of stench hits you. And it is like,
That's where they empty the chamber pots.
I don't know if you've ever been in a market, in an open air fish market where
Yes.
where the nearest body of water is 100 miles away.
Maybe not.
Have
that, but
you
I've had that
ever
sort
been
of
at an open air
have.
fish market where the water source is 100 miles
I
away?
have.
old fish is
Where?
one of the worst things.
But it is very much like walking into a wall. You're fine, and then there is a physical barrier.
Fish smell tends
and
to like
you can
linger
feel
around
it on
fish.
your skin as,
It's like oily.
oh my gosh, it was
The only open air fish
horrific.
market I've ever been in was in Seattle. So I was in one where the water was
Fresh
25
fish
feet
is
away.
delicious.
And it's
yes.
still stunk.
Yeah.
One
Old
that I
fish
was
is-
at.
That is why I left
Oregon
old
with
fish
my
under
dad.
your
It was just
parents'
terrible.
porch.
When we
for
then
months.
went on a field trip
I like
and they
the
tried to
one
feed
in
us
Seattle.
octopus, I was like,
No.
From
we're
where?
3 hours away from the nearest body of water. I still ate some.
The one in Seattle was
Wasn't great.
great. It
Anyway.
was beautiful. It was
polite.
lovely. But
You push through this, but
I know.
it just...
I having had worse.
Oh.
Should I roll another stealth? Sorry.
Give me a
because I messed
Constitution saving throw.
up. Oh, come on.
how much
Barf check.
stench
This is a saving
damage
throw,
do you
so
do?
This is
do
a
I have
save, so you do not have
disadvantage?
disadvantage.
This is a stench.
Okay, at last. Dirty. Wait, no. 18.
18? Okay. The gag reflex just kind of...
I've smelt worse.
You have. You
Summer corpses.
You manage
Summer
to
grapes.
subdue your stomach. And eventually you find yourself in the largest chamber that you found down here. It is piles and piles and piles of dead, rotting fish, crabs. There are humanoid corpses. Just everything that you can imagine that the sea might spit up is just in piles here. And it takes you a second of observation, and you're just kind of holding your face, but there actually seems to be categories of decomposition. So there's a pile that all seems to be of... As if, right, there's a pile of these things are largely fresh. And those ones are a little less fresh. And those ones are a little less. And after about 3 piles, there are just mounds and mounds. You can't make out the details of what's in the pile because there's just this carpet of mushrooms that has just grown and carpeted all of these piles of just corpses.
So the older piles are covered in mushrooms.
Yes.
I like it. Sensible. When I said the Summer Graves thing, I was not expecting it to be that accurate, but this is like Summer Graves that I've been around. Yeah. Shallow Summer Graves. Okay. All this pile's covered in shrooms.
Meanwhile, I've worked my way mentally through the schools of magic 5 times.
Okay.
All of the multiplication tables.
Yep.
Cataloged an entire section of the library.
All right.
I'm falling asleep.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair. Quick question.
Yes.
Just that came to mind when I was in the place with all the fish. Not the dead fish, the live fish, and the eel person.
Mm-hmm.
Has Onisher been taking advantage of the fishing?
Anashur has tried, and plenty of dead things have have ended up in that underground harbor.
If it already ends up dead there, you probably don't want to eat it.
Yeah, but the city's starved.
These are clearly
People
live
who
fish.
do eat it, you've got maybe a 50-50 chance of getting really badly sick.
So we don't have, there's no fishing in the harbor. I mean, of live animals. in the
There's
harbor.
some, like people have taken smaller craft out of the harbor and attempted to fish. Some have been smashed up against the cliffside. Others that have tried to avoid that have gone a little bit too far out. There's kind of a golden zone. The fishing isn't great. If you're willing to risk it, you could probably feed your family.
Okay. It seems to me like they're rolling in it here. If they're willing to risk that cavern.
Mhm.
Okay.
They're
And
like,
clearly they are. 'cause
I'm
there's a bunch
talking
of dead
literal
fish.
tons and tons and tons of corpses and mushrooms.
Yes. I mean, even in the other where the eel thing was, those all were live, or at least freshly dead.
Yes,
So it's
The-
like, there's like
the-
unlimited eating down there.
pretty much.
Good to know. I will do something gross.
Eat it.
I'm not going to eat something.
Eat it. Eat it.
Lakaya
I will
would have
take-
done it.
Lakaya would have eaten
Sure.
anything.
Take a nice go to a mushroom
and did. I
Lakaya would have fit in around here actually a little bit.
Yeah, actually, she was from a monastery. I will
Werewolf,
go.
nun.
I was a nun werewolf. I will take a sample of. Are all of the mushrooms of the same species?
Roll an investigation check.
Okay, investigation. 9.
9. They do appear to be the same.
Okay, I will take one.
You
A
take-
sample.
You take one.
Yes. Does it do anything weird? It's just a mushroom.
You're
Does
holding
it try to eat my hand?
It does not try to eat your hand.
Trying to poison me at this moment.
No, now I'm taking notes.
I put it in my bag,
You-
which
you
I haven't lost.
Feel nothing untoward, and it does not
Because everybody kept rescuing me. Thank you.
take
all.
any aggressive action against you.
Okay.
Should've
I
just dropped
will.
from here and kept my pack.
Just got a notification that Twitch is doing a Valentine's. That Iconic Productions is doing a Valentine's Day stream.
Oh, no way. Where?
You say that right as I'm in the dead fish caverns.
The dead
Sorry, guys.
everything.
If you're
Dead
spending
everything.
Valentine's Day with us, I'm really sorry.
dead everything cavern.
Again, but we appreciate it so much.
Yeah, but we do appreciate you. Sorry.
People are like,
Um,
what are you doing for Valentine's Day? I said, well, I'm single, so I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
And I'm currently in a pile of rotting
Hold on,
flesh.
hold on.
Married man over here.
Yeah, but that's
What was I saying? It's not just fish. Like
Yes,
you
it's
see
rotting
see
flesh.
humanoid corpses in here.
Ew.
And tieflingoid and orcoid and
The
all sorts.
the people
Those
who
all-
didn't make it
those
up
all
to past
count as
lives.
humanoid.
Sentient-oid. Okay.
Yes, sentientoid.
Yes, sentient being-oid.
I got sentient plants, man.
I
Like my
will
son, like
exit
I
said.
don't know. You'll have to meet them.
It's a dead pit.
That's the
We
dreams.
finally got a dead pit, everybody. We've been wanting one for so long.
No,
We
haven't.
have?
We
Dead
just want
pit
him
for
to
the
put,
minis.
I just want him to
died.
put the minis in a pile. That's all I
and
asked.
he never
This
lets
seems
it
like
happen.
a good time to take a break. So we're gonna go ahead and. Do
I'm gonna
that.
leave the dead pit and go back and go up the stairs.
Okay, as you turn around,
Oh, is there somebody down there?
we will take a break in about 30 seconds.
Yes.
As you turn around, you see that purple-skinned tiefling standing about 10 feet behind you, and he's looking there. I have not heard your footsteps before.
It's not creepy line.
Are you here to help?
Uh-oh. Cook. Always.
Excellent. All right, follow me. And he just kind of turns around and starts walking. And that's where we'll take a break. So, we will be back in 10 minutes. Join us then. Happy Valentine's Day, and see you in 10 minutes. Welcome back. Did I time that right? I think I did.
It was close.
Pretty impressive.
Even if it was wrong.
When we left off,
The rest of us love our
H.A.P.P.Y
producer.
Squad, haven't heard that name in a while. H.A.P.P.Y Squad had managed to make their way onto the top of the island, the Temple of the Shadowed Mount. They met a few monks and saw a bunch of others, invaded some of their homes and burned their literal shit, and snooped around a whole bunch. You seem to have discovered their brewery, cavern where the ocean kind of throws up whatever floats around in the ocean, and then a vast chamber of corpses and mushrooms that smells really bad.
Oh, I just had a horrible thought.
Oh no.
What are they making this stuff out of?
While you were doing that,
What are
Vera,
they making the liquor out of?
while
What
you were
liquor?
doing that, oh, I'm sorry, you got
There's no
caught by the
liquor.
blind monk. Are you following him? Okay.
Out of curiosity. if
Out of
nothing else.
curiosity. Meanwhile, you guys have spent about 3 hours managing to, through sheer force of will and kind of constitution, manage to survive 3 hours out in the cold.
Hell yeah.
I am retelling the story of Valerial over and over again now at this point.
Okay.
I'm sleeping.
And you're sleeping. So give me one last constitution saving throw, Almania, with disadvantage.
Me?
Almania.
Not Amanya?
12.
I mean, I don't need to make it? Sorry.
Talia,
It's been
Do
a long
I need
day.
to
you
make
have a
con save?
single roll. You do need to make a con save, but it
Okay.
is a single roll, so whatever you just rolled.
Sweet. 15.
15. Okay, you take another point of exhaustion.
I
Never
don't
mind,
have
it wasn't
any.
good.
I'm
12.
sorry, you take a point of exhaustion, and
Okay.
you take another point of exhaustion. What are you at now?
2.
2? Okay.
You and I are tied.
But I'm not dying as much as you are on hit points.
Guys.
Talia, eventually all of the monks, just kind of almost as one, unfold, stand up, and then just kind of start walking in different directions out of the courtyard.
Oh. Oh, nice. Let's go.
Okay.
You're asleep.
Oh, damn. I didn't think I was
I
going to be
will
sleeping that
stand
deeply,
up.
but okay.
They're monks. They're stealthy bastards.
With shield ready just in case. Anybody's ready to smack me?
You may have an inspiration die.
Thank you.
Kelfir's lessons coming back, where it's like, the lesson is over, but the lesson's never over. Where's it coming from?
Creating pure paranoia.
you have, what would a level 3 bard?
D6.
D6 still?
Yes.
D6?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. By the way, as soon as you guys find a week to rest, you can be level 4.
Okay, so
Oh, nice.
have we been marooned here?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
Should have been.
Do we have a Cormier?
Didn't think of that.
We will not have a Cormier.
All right. Happy
Yay.
Valentine's
Happy
Day,
Valentine's
Maddie
Day.
and Devin. Have fun without us. Bye.
So, after...
Nothing
after
smacks me?
not that you know of.
Okay, cool.
Sorry. Okay. You stand up, stretch, you look around. Most of the monks just kind of filter off.
Oh, shit.
I'm asleep.
Manny is dead again?
There's only one person still in this plaza, and it's Almania. And you can see
Snore.
you can see
Snoring to the
her
mic.
cup is somehow still steaming, but there are icicles hanging from her fake horns.
Forgot about
Her
the fake one.
her blackened, burnt. Her feathers no longer have any of the actual.
Now,
what
are the feathers
what are
fake
those
Poke
called?
them, would they just dissolve into powder?
No, it's basically just like a blackened central stem.
I look so goth.
It's great.
Are the feathers fake, too?
Oh, no.
I've
feathers
always wondered that.
are, no,
Okay.
the feathers are real.
Okay. Because
feathers are
Dragonborn
real.
do
I'm
not
sorry,
have
they are
feathers.
real feathers. They don't grow
She's
from
wearing-
them.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Real feathers.
they've never looked like they were coming out of her. She just
Okay.
ties them on
Okay.
and whatnot.
All right.
But the fake horns have icicles just kind of hanging from the sides of her face where the steam has kind of condensed and then frozen down. There are also just these small icicles. She's still breathing.
Okay, I'll shake her. Almania, come on. Almania. Almania,
Yeah, what?
come on. Let's go inside, please. It's cold. You've got icicles dripping off your horns. Let's go.
I can't feel them.
That's
Almania,
because they're not real, sweetie. Let's go.
Almania, you dreamt of war.
Mm.
No details, really. But you were in the middle of the crush. There were bodies on all sides pushing you forward. The enemy's spears and hammers were in front. Vague impressions. You don't know who the enemy were. You don't know who your side was.
Nice.
But you suddenly wake up and Talia is there. Apologies.
I like
Continue.
feel onto the horns like, oh yeah, I guess they aren't real. Oh fuck. Okay.
You reach up and
They
touch,
never
and one of them
have
just kind
been.
of snaps.
And I'm like, ah!
It's just frozen solid, and you just...
Weird. Just drop it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Kind of hauling myself up, back cracking. You know, just.
How,
All right, let's get warm.
how is your dog
She's now got
still
one
warm?
fake horn, and the other one is snapped off with only about a third still there.
Yeah.
It's kind of
How is
trendy, I
your
like
mug
it.
still warm?
Magic.
You're gonna need to teach me that trick.
Oh, easy. Sweet.
Okay. Alright. Should we go inside?
Yeah, let's go.
Is Cormier just passed out in the warm?
Cormier's
Oh, yeah.
still face down on the tiles.
Is he in the warm though?
No.
He's gonna die.
I thought he was just in the warmth. I did not know that he was even in the.
He's been out there for 4 hours or whatever.
Cormier has 5 levels of exhaustion.
Okay, we should probably try.
You filled every goddamn one of those.
All right, let's haul him back in and just
Okay.
lay him face flat.
You
Well,
haul him
I'm not
into the
very
warmth and just
strong.
leave him face.
Yeah, I'm not moving him any
Some
further
of
than
the skin from just his face where it was plastered to the stone actually kind of froze and ripped off.
Ow.
Oh no!
So there's just kind of this bloody smear on the ground as you ripped him away into the warm.
Well,
Now he's face
I
down
had
in the warm
nothing to
part.
do with that because I was just there, like I was helping, but not.
Yeah,
Morthus kind of rolls him over. Oh, he's probably going to be pissed about that. Puts his hand on him, grasps his holy symbol, and you can see these tattoos. I mean, his skin is just jet black, but these tattoos that you couldn't see before now kind of shine this bright light and almost lift away from his skin a little bit. And the skin on Cormier's face just kind of goes ahead and heals over, and he's still blue, and everywhere that's not blue, it's fiery pink. But the skin that was ripped off is restored.
Sorry, Devin.
That's very interesting.
We didn't kill you,
Wow.
Devin.
Yeah, I'm gonna go inside and see if there's food.
No, we're still just in the corner.
You looked at Morthus and you said, "That's very interesting." He's like, "Yeah, so I worship," and you turned around and just kind of went, and he goes, "It's
We'll
Yeah,
talk
that's
soon,
typical.
okay?
just
I
typical."
just
Aw, Morthus.
And Morthus kind of walks away and just walks around the colonnade exploring.
I'm gonna like kick Cormier a little bit and then be like, and go and see if I can find something to eat.
we took Cormier inside where it's warm though.
Yes. Yeah, he's inside where it's warm. I'm just gonna kick him a few times and then go.
Clarification question, just
Yes.
because Grace, the
I
player,
would have
has
kicked him
forgotten.
yesterday.
Okay.
What happened to his bottomless flask again?
Samplehane has it.
I'm pretty sure you gave that to Samville.
Yep.
Okay. Just wondering.
Yeah.
Talia was very angry at the time and also not herself.
Because it was in my possession for a while, but then it was not. I gave it back.
Yeah, no, I took it away from him and gave it to Samplehane.
There we go. Thank you.
You follow the monks who all seem, I mean, they all kind of streamed out of different exits to this large structure. All seem to be heading to that slightly larger building towards the point. You just kind of follow the press. You step back outside, and it is cold. At this point, you're kind of numb to it, which is a little worrying. But you follow them in to a room, which is just another long hall. There are no furnishings whatsoever. There are several fires. The first fires that you've seen on this island that you have not set.
So proud of that.
And there are a number of just cauldrons sitting over these fires, and you can see monks are going around to one corner where there are just stacks of bowls, taking a wooden bowl, walking over to one of the cauldrons, just dipping it in, walking over to a free space, and just kind of sitting down on the floor, and just slowly...
Okay. Yeah. Join the soup train.
Soup train. Oh, yeah.
Okay, you guys join the
Looking
soup
for
train.
Vera.
You don't see her anywhere in here.
Great, we lost. Okay. Looking for
Again.
anyone else who's in charge. Maybe slightly less in charge than Cranky Lady that smacks people.
Cranky. She is perfectly reasonable.
Actually, I respect her.
Nobody here has any indication of rank.
Okay.
All of their robes are... Again, all of these robes seem largely poorly dyed. One thing you do notice in this hall is that there are also piles and piles of rugs. None of them are being used. They're just kind of in an opposite corner from the stack of bowls.
Interesting.
But all of them, from what you can see, even from here, they are exquisite. Right, they're all kind of rolled up. But from just the edges that appear, you can see just these exquisite, detailed figures. And they're gorgeous.
I'm going to walk over and reach out like I'm going to take one and see.
So these are big rugs.
Okay.
This is not
No,
something
I like-
that you reach out and take one. This is one you take and you kind of throw it on your shoulder.
What I want to do is kind of like unroll one and see what it looks like.
Okay, you walk over and you start to unroll one and you look around.
Just making sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay. What sort of figures are on here? Is there language? Is it...
There's no writing.
Okay.
You see weird pictures of people in these kind of fantastic bodily arrangements, and there seems to be some kind of string connecting their hands together and their hands to their feet, and just these weird contortions that kind of run around this square pattern. And you kind of pull it out about a foot, and there's all kinds of very simple designs. Some of the one that you pull out, lots of floral and plant-like designs. The material itself is not soft. These are clearly ornamental.
Okay.
Um,
Ornamental, but they're rolled up and in a pile.
but the colors, you've never seen purples this rich.
So the rugs are very well dyed, but their robes are not.
Correct. Their robes. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me of why I started in on the rugs.
Yeah.
The contrast between the rugs and the dye work and the craftsmanship of the rugs and their robes is stark.
What sort of... So if I look around at the group, like, is it a mix of races? Are they mostly human?
Mostly human. You see the tiefling here and there.
Any elvish descented people?
You see a couple of half-elves.
Okay.
One dwarf. And one dragonborn. But most of them seem to be one variant of human or another.
Okay. Are they a variety of ages?
Mostly middle to late.
So none of them
Not
look
late,
to be close to my
elderly.
age.
No,
Okay.
not really.
I will go up to the oldest one. The oldest looking one.
Okay. half-elf woman, shaved. I mean, all of their heads are shaved.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter for the dragonborn. But everybody else, just these completely bald pates. Skin, kind of this odd sunburned, silver dappled pattern. And just a powerful build. Most people here look pretty lithe. This half-elf woman is just built.
I will just
Hell yeah.
sit down in front of her,
Built monks.
trying to sit as monk-like as possible, and I will greet her in Elvish.
She's been living here for probably her whole life. I doubt she understands Elvish. Actually.
Okay. I wonder, Mother, if you might tell us something about this place and the history of this place.
What do you call me, Mother?
It's respectful, right? I mean, you're older than I.
Well, I suppose it's better than grandmother.
Well, you certainly don't look as elderly as all that.
I am Abbess Gaura.
Abbess, what?
Abbess Gaura.
Okay. And what do you do here? How long have you been here? What are we supposed to do here?
Which question would you like answered?
I'm sorry, Tell me about yourself, about the place. That will start.
That is a different question. I am Abbess Gaura.
What do you do here?
I drink soup.
Who makes the soup?
That would be, Brother Adelaide. He's, over there. And she points to the one dwarf figure in the room. Who doesn't seem to be doing anything actually different from anybody else. He is seated, well, kind of folded up in just one part of the room, also drinking whatever it is that everybody else is drinking.
What are we supposed to do here?
It is not mine to tell you that.
Is it, should I ask Sister Cadmium, was it?
Cadmium.
Cadmium. Should I ask her?
You may ask anybody you wish, but it is none of our places to tell you why you are here.
She said our ship had left. Do you know if that's the case? Is there a place where you can see the harbor from here?
There is no harbor.
Well, to see where the ship would be? How far can you see? Can you see across the inland sea from here?
I can see until about, right there. She points to the nearest part of the room. Sorry, the furthest part of the room from her.
Semantics, I see. If you are outside, is there a place from a vantage point on this island from which you can see far?
You can see from any part of the cliffs.
Right. Do you get many visitors here?
No.
That makes sense.
We get no visitors.
Do people who come here just stay? Do they ever leave?
We get those who stay. We get those who venture out and never return.
And have you...
We get those who do not survive the path of lies.
I see. How many of yours have ventured out not to return?
2 in my memory.
2. Only 2? Do you have no contact with the...
Those who come here come for a reason. Those who leave, they leave for a reason. never returned. Brother Jasper left to save the world from itself, and he did not return.
He clearly did not succeed.
Initiate Jocasta left to change the world, and she did not return. I'm sorry, Mary. I'm so sorry.
We love you, Mary.
Why is it my character? My character
Because yours is the one that came from this island.
I know.
The only two people who have left the island in her memory.
Jasper and Jocasta.
Abbess, how long have you been here?
Leave the past to flow as it will.
Reasonable.
It matters not.
Where did you start? Where did you come from?
I began on the path of lies.
Before that. Where did your ship come from?
Before that, I was not.
Right. So you've been here your whole life. Okay.
Sorry, Josh is struggling to maintain a straight face. She is not.
This is why we hated Jared, remember?
You hated Jaren because you cornered an old man and tried to kill him, and then he talked sense.
Hey, that was our job.
Fuck y'all.
I wasn't there that session. It's one of the great regrets of my D&D
Y'all
career.
y'all went on crazy adventures while I wasn't there, and then I came and we all died.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
Mary.
That's your fault. I was the only one who I was the last one standing.
You were. You were.
They were butchered in an alley.
We were. We're still salty about that.
Jocasta, my girl who went to change the world. And Amanya was going to change the world.
She's not dead.
Ari
Well,
was
she
going to
died,
change the
but-
world too.
She's not dead anymore. Vera has no intention of changing
What
the
can
world.
you teach us here?
I'm sorry?
What can you teach us here?
What do you wish to learn?
So much. I can't even begin to explain to you everything I wish to learn. I saw that you had books in the first place that we came through.
Yes.
Are those are those available to read? Are they allowed for strangers to see?
The Library of the Lost is open to all.
Fantastic. What? Do you worship? This is called a temple. Do you worship someone here? A deity? Are there people of faith here? Are you a person of faith?
Everyone is a person of faith.
Well, you surely haven't met everyone.
No.
I can think of several people who are not. I am new to the path of faith myself, but I wish to learn. Do you have a god, or a deity, or someone from which you draw your power?
Our ideas of the gods are about as useful as those that a chick might form about the world outside its egg before it is hatched.
That's pretty astute, actually. I feel that way sometimes. The statues. What are those? What
They're
is their
statues.
significance? What do they represent?
Stone.
The figures that are in the statues, though, who are they? What deeds did they do? Why are they memorialized in this way?
This is what you come to learn?
I come to learn anything. I generally study magic, but I seem to have lost all of my means of transcribing any magics, but I am a scholar. I seek knowledge, always. I have spent my whole life walled up in a city. And now that I'm out in the world, it's awful. But I would like to learn so much. Anything. Everything.
You are welcome to do so.
So can we just, like, roam about and do our thing? Because it seemed like Sister Cadmium, well, she sent Mrs. Mayweather off to empty all the chamber pots. And every time I tried to get up, she smacked me with something. So how... I don't know what's expected here. I'm a good student. I learn fast, and I'll do whatever is expected, obviously, but I just need to know what the expectations are. I need structure, and, like, the do's and don'ts, if you will. And... also, we left... We left a dead person in the library.
Kind of forgot about that.
Beautiful.
Okay.
That was gorgeous.
And Talia just starts
All right.
crying because she realizes that all of this time she's been so focused on not giving in to anything that she hasn't even thought about Lyra because she knew that the tears were going to happen and she wasn't sure that this was a good place to be vulnerable. And we dumped her in the library.
We left a dead body in the library.
I think
Where it
that
will
needs to be on a
freeze.
t-shirt.
All right. All
And
right.
not decompose.
You see, she sacrificed herself to her goddess in order to bring back my dragonborn friend who was dead. And she's not dead anymore, obviously, but now my friend Lyra is, and I don't know what to do because, you see, she was my mentor, she was my spiritual advisor, she was the one who was going to show me the way, and I don't know what to do now, and I'm lost. And afraid. And I probably am talking too much, I'm sorry. Usually someone would have knocked me down by now.
Manya's just kind of in the corner, just...
You had a nice nap. You had a nice dinner.
slurp louder than any of these people.
I'm sorry, usually before I'm allowed to speak that much, I...
Seek the path of lies. You have survived it, but you have not passed it.
What?
She stands up,
That is the most...
goes off to the side,
That is the
down
best
her bowl and
response
kind
to
of
his mom.
a steadily
What?
growing stack of dirty wooden bowls, and just kind of walks out of the room.
Who cleans the bowls? I'm gonna regret asking that question.
If it's me, Cadmium's going to die.
Okay.
I'll finish my soup.
You finish your soup.
Yeah.
Okay. Sister Cadmium kind of walks into the room. She's got her stick. She kind of starts walking towards you, and you just kind of... And she eventually kind of changes course, goes towards a bowl, goes and gets it. So you are being led back to that room with all of the tables and the vats and the barrels.
I'm so sorry. I was sent to empty the chamber pots and then to come back, but I think I found the wrong door, and I was very cold, so I wandered down where it was warm, and honestly, my eyes are not what they used to be. I got a little bit lost.
No, you just told it. I knew.
Yeah, it sucks
I
kind
did. On purpose.
Yeah, it sucks kind of like that down here. That's fine. Just keep following me.
All right.
Eventually leads you back into kind of that well-lit room. And as you get closer, you realize all of these tables, all those mounds that you saw in it earlier, are just mounds and mounds and mounds of mushrooms. And you can see smaller,
Oh, God.
neat piles of
I knew where the
chopped-
alcohol was coming from.
chopped mushrooms.
It's dead people booze.
And he
I
leads
knew
you.
it.
He leads you over to a chair, kind of sits you down, and it's basically just a stool. There's no back to it. slides a knife over to you and just kind of gathers a whole mass of the mushrooms into kind of the folds of his robes and walks over to kind of one of the metal instruments over here. And you again hear that kind of just instant freezing. And you kind of look around, and this cavern curves around a little bit to a place that you can see from the passageway, and you can see 2 other monks. And there are these weird, kind of spiral. Think like a screw, but now imagine that the blades of the screw extend maybe 2 feet from the actual core itself. And the core kind of runs from floor to ceiling, and it just has these spiral blades. And it's made of some kind of metal. You can't tell just by looking. But these 2 monks are standing there totally still and just kind of folded in on themselves. And then suddenly they'll just kind of spin, twirl, and punch at these things, and frost just launches out from their fist, and the entire the entire kind of structure gets covered in frost. And then the other monk walks over and just kind of starts to scrub the frost down into a number of small containers at the bottom.
Are you brewing something with these dead people?
I don't hear chopping over there.
Start
His head is just kind of always at a tilt, just up as he's walking around. As you kind of glance over your shoulder, he's using all of this equipment very deftly. The lack of sight does not appear to be an impediment to him. And you see him kind of dump the pile of chopped mushrooms into this thing, and he just kind of starts cranking a wheel. Still don't hear chopping.
I am.
Come on now. You're chopping now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
You're
good
just
at it.
kind of slicing mushrooms, and he's just kind of turning this crank around.
Is this? Are you brewing this?
Yep.
To make what?
Beer.
Dead people beer.
Mushroom beer.
Shroom beer.
It's fair. What's the freezing for?
Condensation. It's, you ever drink salt water?
Yeah, I've tasted it. It's not good.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
I mean, good language, young man. I mean, really.
Didn't take you for a real monk, but alright.
I took you for a real monk. I mean, you're in the outfit.
Yeah. It's kind of a joke.
Really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Not really supposed to be here.
Neither am I, to be perfectly honest.
Your ship get destroyed too?
Well, either that or just scarpered.
Oh. Well, that sucks too. No, big fucking tentacled thing just kind of, big,
Thank you.
bastard just kind of destroyed
That's
our ship.
It's better.
Destroyed the ship, washed up on the thing, walked up this creepy fuck. Long, I forget what they call it. It's path of...
what did that lady? The Path of Lives?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, he kind of stops and just takes out this large bowl and just dips it into this thing and scoops out just this mass of pulp, just mushroom pulp, and brews beer. Dumps it into a vat of liquid that's just kind of boiling.
All right.
And as he's doing that, he keeps talking. Made my way up. They gave me a robe. Let me stay. Not actually a monk. But found the beer down here. And decided to stay down here. And they let me stay and make beer. And I gotta say, shit, what tasted bad. It tasted bad when I arrived.
You improved it. How clever of you.
Made it less awful.
Why were they brewing bad beer? I mean, what's the point?
Well, they don't care.
They just drink it, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah.
Are they using their amazing powers to make it taste incredible? I'm sure.
They're probably just dead inside. So it doesn't really taste like anything.
I like you more and more, young man, really.
I appreciate having, come... Did you... The guy at the gate? Gypsum. Yeah.
Cadmium and gypsum. Really? Are you
Fucking
sure those are real names?
Useless.
Brother Gypsum.
Bunch of babble at me. No straight answers.
Oh, I like you more and more.
Almost froze to death. And then there's that gap. Just, yeah, go on in. Just walk straight through the... Almost fell to my death.
So did I. Brother Gypsum actually had to throw me over because I was a frozen ice cube.
Oh, you got thrown over.
I did.
Dreamed of getting thrown over.
I know. I was about to die myself.
It was... Kill that guy. Utterly useless.
We'll talk
Anyway,
about that.
Good to have a reasonable person down here.
Mm-hmm. So, quick question. The fellows who are blasting ice at your screws here, why do they need to do that when it is minus whatever degrees in the actual air upstairs?
Ask him.
But
Go on. Do it.
Is that a dare?
It's a dare. Ask him.
I will. I go up to said monks. I say, why do you have to create ice when there is, I assure you, a great deal of natural ice above us?
Roll a persuasion check.
It is a range.
No, it's straight persuasion. That's fine.
I'm exhausted though.
I know.
Alright. 21.
21. Without looking at you, without turning, the one that's been trucking the frost at the contraption, your actions are your only belongings.
Enlightening. I appreciate that.
Fucking told you! Sorry. Told you!
I'm going to say to the other monks who are blasting ice, have you ever heard of a fortune cookie? You could make a fortune making those.
Then just continue.
Go back to Tiefling dude.
He's come over, collected a bunch of the mushrooms that you've chopped, dumped them back into this machine.
And what's your name, young man?
Brother Fool.
I love it.
Yeah. Real sense of humor, these guys.
So they give you a name when they induct you into their cult.
Oh, God.
I'm not part of them.
Well, then why do you let them call you that?
The only ones around here.
Oh, you mean the only ones to call you anything?
Yeah, pretty much. You try to convince them of anything. Again, I dare you.
Well, I believe you. What were you called before you were Brother Fool?
Honestly, don't remember.
How long's it been?
Year?
A year.
Yeah, right after that moon showed up. The fucker, the red one.
Yeah, that one. I know what you
Yep.
mean. Yes, I understand the ship situation.
Yeah.
It only took you a year to forget your own name. Good fellow, I think you've been...
Well, may have been some, may have been knocked around a little bit.
That's fair. That's fair, entirely fair. Do you know where, what time is it, by the way? I was wondering, roughly.
You are deep underground.
Alright. Do you happen to know where I might be able to get some supper this hour? I'm not quite sure how.
Yeah, you head up to the big building. They call it it's the bigger one.
Yes.
Not the biggest one. It's the one in the middle.
So not the one we're currently under.
not the one. Sure, that's the other one.
The other one, the not. Yes. The one with the courtyard with the initiates.
No, the other one. It's over on the edge.
Oh, you mean the one on the point of this island?
Sure, is there a point to the island?
Oh, is there a point to anything?
Multiple levels for that question.
There's so much there. Now we don't have time to unpack all
You see him, and he kind of looks at the ground, he's like, shit, it's happening.
Is there a point to
It's infectious.
It's the mushrooms.
It resisted for so long.
It's in the mushrooms.
It's in the mushrooms.
It's in the shrooms.
Yeah.
You're drinking the mushrooms and then, woo! You become a monk. Philosophy starts to just
Well, do you want me to bring you something?
I got all I need down here.
Do they feed you? Are you living entirely off of dead people mushroom beer?
Well, it's mushrooms.
And that is enough for all your nutritional needs? You're looking a little pale, I gotta be honest.
I'm alive.
Yes. I think you should get some sunshine though, lovey.
Is the sun out?
It's wintertime, but
Yeah, I'm not going up there.
Yeah, it's fair, but vitamins.
I stay down here. I like it down here.
Well, I'll come and visit again, but I really must go and find my friends.
Sure. Hang on. Hey, hold on. Kind of goes over to where there are just some open barrels. Takes just a smaller wooden bowl, kind of dips it in, and says, "All right, how's this one?"
Oh, I really don't drink.
Oh, come on!
Oh, well.
I've been working for a year with only my own taste buds.
Drink. I take the tiniest little sip.
Okay. Tastes like moldy bread. It's really bad.
I think it's unique. I think it's charming.
All right.
Need some new spices.
You'll be a monk yet.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the bowl back over to the barrel, pours it in, picks up kind of a lid that's on the side, puts it down on top, kind of fits it down in, and he just kind of blindly reaches for just a pile of nails and a hammer and just kind of starts nailing the lid in.
Do you happen to have perhaps a flask or something where I could take some of this up to a friend?
Got a barrel.
Don't do it.
Yeah, something smaller, more portable.
A
bowl?
Yeah, there. Here. And he just takes the bowl he was just using, tosses it to you. Mm-hmm. It flies straight to you.
That's really quite remarkable. I go and I fill a bowl of beer.
Okay. You fill yourself a bowl of beer and you make your way back up the stairs.
I have a water skin, but it's currently full of water.
Fresh water is probably a commodity on this island.
Water.
Okay, you take your bowl and you kind of carefully make your way up. Almania, you sat in the corner for a while and slurped your.
How about? Did I hear any of this
soup.
kind of going on?
Wait, hear any of which one?
Her whole conversation.
Talking? Yeah, there was basically no conversation happening in the room except that one.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody in the room heard it.
Okay. Interesting. Is Sister Cadmium still in the room?
She is.
Okay.
She walked in kind of right at the end of the conversation, grabbed a bowl, dipped it into one of the cauldrons, hunched down, started slurping it.
Great, I'm going to go over to her.
There's kind of an underlying noise in the entire room of just like dozens of people just... And that's just happening constantly.
I'm going to walk over to Sister Cadmium and set my empty bowl down and go down, sit down on the bench. I assume there are benches?
Nope. Everybody's just sitting on the floor.
Oh, awesome. Sorry, I'll sit on the floor and say... So, you said that you were told that we were supposed to be your new initiates, yeah?
Your ship dropped you here and left.
So you weren't told that we were supposed to be initiates?
No.
But that's what you said.
I said that you were initiates.
You said that you were told that we were going to be initiates. So who told you?
I understood you were initiates. Your ship left.
How do you know our ship left? No one can see down there.
Do you know everybody?
Do you know everybody?
No, but I saw the ship leave.
Where did you see the ship leave from?
sea?
No. Did you go all the way down to the bottom, see the ship leave, and then come all the way back up?
No, I stood on the cliff.
In a storm? In a
Doesn't-
blind... It was... We were in the wind and the snow.
Yeah, there's wind and there's snow.
Yeah. If there's wind blowing around snow.
It is not snowing.
Right, I assume that...
And it wasn't
and
the
there's,
spray.
and there's
It
not
was
some
the
kind of
spray.
storm. There are
Which is
just
always
strong
like that.
gusts and kind of a constant sea
Okay.
wind. And after you've jumped into essentially Arctic water and then been exposed to that wind, it's really freaking cold. But there's not a storm and it's snow is pouring down.
I thought that the wind was to the point where
Sightlines
like
are
it was
just
hard to see.
Oh, I mean,
When we were
if
coming
you as you were walking,
We were
snow is
also
being
losing the
blown
light.
off of surfaces and into your eyes and whatnot.
Okay.
There's not a huge storm.
Can you show me where our ship is not? Because I'm just confused why they would... I mean, I'll be honest, I was dead yesterday, so this is a little bit new for all of us. But I'm trying to figure out why the ship would just leave.
And do you think that I can tell you?
Yeah. You got this whole high and mighty, I'm really smart kind of thing going on. This is why I designed Sister Cadmium.
Indeed. Well, typically when people are dropped off at the Path of Lies and their transport leaves, it is because their transport didn't want them.
Yeah, I'm super curious about that because apparently our crew, paid to be on a ship, apparently volunteered to, be on the ship and get food. So, seems a little weird that they leave us. We were trying to get food for our ship.
Indeed. You might ask them.
Great! How do I find them?
An excellent question.
Okay, she, and I point to the abyss kind of behind, said that 2 people have left this island. Something, both with a j sound, I think. How the hell did they get off this island?
Same way they got to the island.
On a
ship.
boat?
Yes.
So how did they just have a boat lying around for them to leave?
They didn't. Ships used to pass us frequently.
They just got on a boat? I thought nobody came to this island. That's what I've always been told.
Indeed. But they passed us often.
Did they, put a big old light, like a bonfire?
Brother Jasper had connections of his own.
Okay. And the other one?
Janie Jocasta's leaving is a mystery.
Okay. God, this whole place is mysterious. Great. Okay. Awesome. How the hell do we get off this island? Got places to be, people to see, food to eat,
The
I think.
Path of Lies will take you back down to the sea.
Right, but there's no boat, you said, so...
Correct.
So does the Path of Lies magically, mysteriously give us a boat?
You might ask it.
Just to spite you, I think I will. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Thanks.
You are finished with your meal.
Yeah.
You should take rest. Tomorrow, you will shave the goats.
What?
Sounds like a euphemism.
You're honestly not sure if she meant it or if there's a euphemism or if she's joking.
Have I seen goats on the island since I've been here?
You have not.
Okay.
It's not called shaving goats, it's called shearing. This is actually
You're shaving the goats, you're shaving, cool imagery.
You're getting rid of their little beards.
Doing a nice sit fade from the top to the bottom. Yeah, I go, okay. And I take the bowl and I throw it in the stack and head back up.
Just from across the room, just kind of hurl it at the stack. Okay, it slams into the stack and the whole thing just kind of falls down and clatters across the
I
floor
just
and there's
keep
just a
walking.
mess and you just kind of get up and leave.
Yep.
Okay. You walk back out into the cold.
Yep.
Did you get up and leave after
No,
Okay.
I was there watching this whole thing happen,
you
and now
saw that whole thing happen?
Oh dear, this is bad. Because the last thing you want to do is make the person in charge mad.
Almania
Almania
all
doesn't
people,
act this way.
just chucked her bowl across the room. A whole pile of the dirty dishes just kind of scattered across the floor. There was no reaction from the other monks, but she just kind of stood up and left.
Okay, Almania doesn't act this way any more than Talia goes around cussing all the time.
Not really.
Oh dear, that's worrisome. I'm sorry, Sister Cadmium. Do you happen to know where the little Mrs. Mayweather? She's the one you sent to empty the chamber pots, I think.
Indeed.
Which probably made her really happy.
Delighted.
I wasn't trying to lie. Or keep the
Ecstatic.
sarcasm out of my voice.
I know.
Do you know where she is? I haven't seen her.
Yes. She has discovered the path of many deaths.
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
Hell
hey.
yeah.
Excellent. Do you think she'll be back soon-ish?
It's called the Path of Many Deaths.
You think she'll be fine on the path of many deaths?
I'm ignoring
Let's think
that
about
point.
it.
And also, I'm very sorry. Almanya, she was perfectly serious when she said she was dead yesterday.
I just imagine you hunkering down, wringing your hands. She was dead yesterday, but it's fine. We're figuring it out. It's fine.
We're working on it.
How are you?
So she's normally not like that, and I'm sorry, I just came off of a magically induced rudeness myself, so maybe I can help her get rid of it the same way I got rid of it, although come to think of it, I don't know exactly how that happened. I think... Oh no. Oh, Lyra, whatever am I going to do without Lyra? What are we supposed to do, please? What am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do? I don't... What are we supposed to do here?
Your purpose is your own. Sorry, Sister Cadmium. Sorry.
Yeah, she sits very...
No.
I'm sitting up straighter here.
No. I don't believe that, because you see, no one in my life has ever said that to me, because I was my father's best apprentice, and he worked me really hard so that I would be perfect at everything I turned my hand to. My mother has always been disappointed the fact that I didn't follow in her footsteps and be perfect exactly like I did. They're both disappointed that I didn't marry Tobias. And then, of course, Kelfier expected a lot of things from me, so you have to expect something, because no one ever doesn't.
Rocks and acorns are both hard, but only one is good for eating.
I like that. I need that on like a sticker. Please tell me you just have that written down back there and you've been waiting to pull it out. Like,
No, I just made that up on the spot.
damn, dude.
This is good stuff.
I don't understand what that's supposed to mean, but it makes
Good.
sense.
Now you have something to contemplate.
Is that what I'm supposed to contemplate?
Someone's do.
As I said, your purpose is your own.
Okay. So a few practical things that I was trying to explain to Abbess
Galra. Sorry, I'm not there.
is that, so I'm sorry, but my friend who was alive yesterday when Almania was dead and now is dead and Almania is alive is currently lying quite dead, I assume, on the floor of your library. And
I'm sorry, Beth, we're not laughing at you.
No.
And-
I forgot we left you
We
dead
are?
in the library.
I forgot that
I
too.
don't know what we're supposed to do about that, so
Who
that's a
needs gentle
problem.
repose when you've got a refrigerator?
And then I think I made the Morthus guy angry. And are you sure the ship left? Are you positive?
As positive as eyes can be.
You saw it leave?
Indeed.
Do I believe her?
Roll an inception check?
An inception check! Give her a good solid kick, get her out of that dream.
An insight
So I would say, oh, look, I had disadvantage, but it was a 1 anyway, so...
This little sucker is.
Yes, soon you will not be able to roll at all. You absolutely believe her.
Oh,
That ship is gone.
Ship is gone.
Can't imagine why.
He wanted food.
I'm sorry?
We had an hour time limit to do this. Didn't we all hear that?
No, you didn't.
I
No.
thought we did.
You had no time limit.
No, he. The hour was when they saw it, and we were going to get there in an hour. That's what the hour is.
Yeah, it left about 3.5 hours ago now, according to Sister Cadmium.
Can you show me the way to where Mrs. Mayweather is? Because I need to find her. She's the brains of the group, apparently.
What? No.
She's the one who will tell me what I'm supposed to do.
I can do that.
She is currently in the 4th death of the body.
How do I get there?
I'm toddling my way up from the fourth
I
death
don't.
of the body.
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know where that is. Can someone guide me?
They could.
Will you please have someone guide me?
In the sky, there is no... I'm sorry. I tried to hold
You
it.
need the career writing fortune cookies. These are genius.
In the sky, there is no distinction of east or west. And she stands up and goes and places her bowl on the pile
There's a generator back there.
and walks out of the building.
For BS.
I'll follow her.
Okay. She walks straight out of the building, and you can see this path heads straight out towards kind of that point. And there's just a very small pavilion. And she just walks straight out, stands kind of in the middle of the pavilion, staring straight out at the sea. And the sky is kind of this leaden gray color. It's not snowing, but the wind gusts out here are quite violent and bitter cold. And she stands in the middle of the pavilion and just kind of stares straight out.
What's she looking at?
From the building, you can't see. You're walking over.
I walk over to where she is, and I
Okay.
look out
Yeah.
where she's looking.
Roll a perception check.
They've all betrayed us.
Jerks.
That's not terrible.
Not terrible. We'll take mediocre over terrible.
I have 17.
17?
Yes.
It's just the sea.
No boat.
No. You kind of peer over the edge, and you can see on this corner of the island. You can actually see down to where the path is that you guys first landed. So straight, way down there on the right side of this point, you can see the beginning of that path. And from up here, you can see scattered along the coast. You can see bodies. You can see just the wreckage of ships. You can see just all
My
kinds
scholar's
of
pack.
flotsam and...
It's Jetson.
with a 17? Sure.
Let's go all the way back.
You see something that could be your backpack. Could be Morthus's backpack.
Could be a rock.
Could be a rock. Could be the back of somebody, of a corpse that's just floating face
I got a
down.
pack. I got a rock.
I got a dead guy.
I got a dead guy. I got a rock.
On the beach or in the water? Like, has it washed
go
up
home
on the
now?
beach?
I was doing
No,
Halloween,
just
but
kind of
yeah, that
where the
works
waves
too.
splash against the
I'm
cliff. You
gonna
can
turn
just
into a
see all of this
cat.
stuff. On some of the higher places, you can see where there is just chunks of a hull of some kind of craft or another. You can see skeletons and less decomposed but very dead bodies scattered in other places, and this runs all along the coastline.
That's horrifying. But I don't see Mrs. Mayweather down there. So this was the path of... I'm sorry, was it lies or lives?
Are you asking the DM or are you asking Sister Cadmium?
I'm asking Sister Cadmium. Because
You
Talia...
look at Sister Cadmium, and her eyes are actually closed.
Oh.
She is facing out towards the sea, but her eyes are closed.
Okay. Well,
thinking
it's
of another
cold
bullshit
out
saying.
here, so I'm going to turn around and go back where it's warm.
Okay. Back to the big building or the one that you just ate food in?
Which one's closer?
The hall you just ate food in.
Yeah, there.
Okay. So you head back in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I look for Morthus.
Okay, Morthus is in there.
Okay, I go up to Morthus and I say, I'm sorry about earlier. It's been a very trying couple of days. I'm very sorry.
Talking about the path of whatever up here? Talking.
Honestly, I'm just apologizing for everything that has happened between you and I since I met you.
Sorry, I have to get out of monk. I keep.
Morthus is just like
I
head
keep
your
trying to go
shoulder.
for like ironic or just bizarre things, but no, Morthus is actually fairly straightforward.
He's very straightforward.
Yeah, when I came to help you guys,
Great uncle.
I heard that the inn had been attacked, and really didn't think that. My God, that was yesterday.
Yes.
We lead interesting lives.
Oh no, it
No,
wasn't
it was 2
yesterday.
days
Sorry.
ago.
My God, that was only 2 days ago. Did not think I would be on this fool's errand.
I am so sorry for you, my friend.
Remind me why I came along?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it was mostly because you were strong and you were willing to carry our friend, and you said you needed to get out of the city anyway. But I wasn't really thinking clearly or being myself at the time.
Well,
And then...
Zedder has probably got his hand in here somewhere, so...
So, yes, please
can't
tell
really
me all about...
complain.
Tell me about your deity. I,
Nah.
seem to have lost my spiritual advisor, so...
Highest ever spirited god 2 days ago, and now my advisor is dead yesterday.
So I'm switching
And now
gods.
His eyebrows kind of shoot up, and he goes, I'm not a spiritual advisor. I was just stupid enough to believe the stories my mom told me when I was a kid.
Okay, I was stupid enough to believe the stories of someone who just killed herself in a cabin on a ship. So I think we're kind of on a level footing here.
So you want children's stories?
Sure. You know what? Honestly, you're talking to me like I'm an actual person. So I would love to talk to you.
All right, sure. He tells you about Zedder,
Okay, cool.
the god of prophecy and fate, with aspects of change, chance, but also inevitability.
This little jerk been rolling dice in my ear.
I've literally been having Morthus walk around with his bell, trying to figure that out
I was gonna say,
forever,
This
okay?
freaking god been rolling dice in my ear.
His god, but dice aren't part of his god's thing.
Yeah. Fate. Chance.
But he has bells and crystal orbs.
As he talks and just kind of tells you about Zedder, there's not a lot of detail. It's weird fables where just they are actually the stories themselves are actually these odd verses with bizarre phrases. Zedder who walks between, Zedder last fallen. Just these
Between what?
You wanted children's tales.
Now, this is fascinating.
Just these odd epithets. As he talks, he occasionally just kind of turns off to his right, and he goes, "What was the name again?" Right. Okay. Yeah. He just kind of looks off at nothing. All of the other monks have cleared the room at this point, and he kind of just looks off to the side and looks like he's actually hearing somebody. Thank you so much. And he turns back with just this confident information and these confident replies.
You have done that ever since I have known you. Who are you talking to? There's no one there.
Oh, she forgot his name.
Oh, I have it, actually.
Yeah, do you remember his
yeah,
name? Oh, I don't think I gave him a name.
His name is Galamandrin.
Galamandrin. Great-granduncle Galamandrin. He remembers these things better than I do.
is he like a ghost or the spirit, or is he gonna become a ghoul and kill us all?
No, not the last one.
Okay.
He's been around for as long as I can remember. We
And
hang
he
out.
just follows you around.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why is that interesting?
Does he allow you to manipulate the threads of fate ever?
What? Are you, is this a joke?
No. Sorry, professional interest.
Okay.
It's a scholarly. It's for my papers.
I'm writing my thesis.
Look,
Do you
I
ever
think Zetter was
see...
a great guy, and I believe in him, but you're starting to sound creepy here.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be creepy, but it's just that sometimes in my dreams I see things and I'm able to change the outcome of something because I've seen it before.
Hey, Uncle, are you letting me, what did you say, twist the threads of something or other?
Fate.
Fate, cool. Yeah? I'm sorry, I guess I can look at you because you're actually making the noise for me, thank you. Yeah, I didn't think so. No.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Illyrio?
I mean, your friend... I'm sorry, I know she... Yes, your friend Lyra talked about her all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can tell you the story later, but it's not right now. It's fine. I'll be fine.
He fits in.
I love
He
him.
fits in very well right here.
Vera, you left the path of the fourth death.
Apparently I did. I go up the stairs.
Okay.
And I go and I find the courtyard where I presume Cormier is lying face down in the courtyard.
Yep.
Is where we left
He's
him.
warming up.
He's kind of curled up a little bit now.
It's warm.
Color
He's in
has
the
come
warm
back.
now.
There's kind of a small puddle around him. From the melted.
Okay.
Just come on.
Yeah, my brain went
Come
elsewhere
on.
too.
I thought
I
puddle,
spent a
so
long
at least
time
I'm the
emptying
cleanest
chamber
brain
pots
out of all of
today.
y'all. I was like, oh, nice, water puddle. Nice, okay.
Yes.
I go up and I go, Cormier, medicine, nom nom. I dribble a little beer into his mouth.
The mushroom beer.
You dribble a little beer into his mouth.
Figured out how to get rid of Cormier. We'll just leave him here with the mushroom beer.
It's not a new day. Okay, so he's still summer. I don't know Cormier very well. Okay.
Yes, you do. I mean...
And he just lunges for the bowl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's all I could find. I need to go get dinner. Do you want some food?
Kind of slurps it all down. Where'd you find it?
Over there.
Are you pointing in the right direction?
Nope.
Throws the bowl to the side and stomps off in that direction.
I pointed towards the courtyard.
Okay, cool.
No, wait. I pointed towards the food hall.
Fair. Okay. He stomps off in that direction.
I start following him.
Okay. He, as you're having this
It's like a puppy with a
conversation,
treat.
as you're having this conversation with Morthus, Almania has left the building. Almania, as you left the building, you and a fiery-haired, more energetic than you've seen him all day, Cormier kind of pass each other, and he just kind of kicks in the door. You're having this conversation with Morthus, and suddenly, Cormier is there, looks around, sees all of, the pile of bowls on the floor, and just walks over there, just kind of starts looking through them, looks at the cauldrons, takes one of the bowls, walks over, sniffs it, goes over to the clean bowls, just kind of tears them apart, looks back at one of the cauldrons, and you can all kind of hear audibly just this,
takes one of the bowls, walks over to the cauldron, dips it in, goes off into the corner, and just kind of hunkers down.
Come on there. Where do you go? After you left.
I'm gonna go out to, I guess, where you were going to go. I was gonna go and see if I could see where the boat was before from the top of the island.
So you're just going to kind of go to that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
See what I can see.
Roll a perception check.
I keep on just like skimming through my character sheet.
Yeah,
because
sorry,
I don't have it, so
I'll have that printed
I
for
keep
you
on like
next week.
pulling it up and like skimming through. And
I'm
seeing
sorry, I
what-
forgot
That's
to
okay.
print that for you.
Oh, that's not good. Well, yeah, that's a 9.
A 9, you see a whole lot of sky. You see a whole lot of sea. You see a lot of pieces of ship and bodies caught in various places on the cliff.
Do any of them look like
washing?
our ship? The bodies of people on our ship?
You don't recognize anything.
Okay.
I mean, you see plenty of skeletons here and there, half decomposed corpses.
Yeah, but you didn't say when I did mine that there was any fresh bodies, right? Because you said they were just like half decomposed skeletons. Okay.
Nothing super fresh.
Okay.
Like maybe in the last few days, but
Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna stand on the edge there and look at the boat. Look down where I hoped the boat was gonna be, and just be like,
pain erupts on the left side of your head. And you just kind of clutch your face stinging, and Sister Cadmium is standing there in the middle of the pavilion, eyes closed. Totally still.
what kind of pain? Like, is it just like a
you
headache?
just got hit in the side of the head with a stick.
Oh, okay. I thought
And
you
you
had like a
saw
psychic-
nothing.
I'm sorry, I wasn't
She had a
terribly
migraine.
descriptive with that.
That's
Feels
fine.
like you got hit in the side of the head with a stick.
Ow! Fuck!
Uh-oh.
Just like staring. Ow! Like very pointed.
Yep. Standing there, eyes closed, totally still, totally serene.
Why does nobody go off of this island? I feel like it would drive me insane. The acorn in the rock. Sorry. I'm waiting for the next cadmiumism.
Sure.
Cadmiism?
Cadmiism? I think that's
Yeah.
easier to say. Yeah.
Cadmiism. Wait for this.
Except all of them do
I
it.
feel like I had one for that, but I can't find it.
Monkism?
A monkism? Philosophy.
Now we know why they poisoned Socrates.
Yeah. Says the one digging out the philosophy.
I know. Oh, trust me, I never.
Just gonna kind of stand there and snap my fingers for a while and
never liked.
like try to remember more. Try to like figure out how the heck all of this happened. Because I don't remember anything really previous. And
Yeah,
I'm trying to
roll
figure,
a-
what happened.
Roll a wisdom check.
Okay. I'm not high on wisdom. I'm dumb. 6.
6. There was a battle. There were thousands in the press. It's a battle you can remember. You feel a definite connection with those on your side, as if there's a sort of shared consciousness to a very limited degree. You are more aware of those around you than you normally would be. The enemy those around you and the enemy remain faceless.
Colors, concepts, anything?
They hate you.
Me specifically?
It's fairly ubiquitous. That's not the right word, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Attitude. You're kind. Those who fight with you.
Kick a rock off of the edge of the cliff.
You kick a rock off the edge of the cliff.
I don't feel
a
better.
rock.
It's a rock.
Have we reached critical mass where I've said enough of these that you guys are just going to start?
We're going to start using them in our ordinary lives. This is going to be great.
Okay, I'm going to go back into the temple.
Okay, as soon as you turn around, you get hit in the back of the head with a stick. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Bugs. You did this to yourself, Mary.
I'm going to turn around and look back at Sister Academy and go, I'm now one of your fucking initiates. And I'm going to turn back around and go back to the temple.
You turn around.
And I get hit back in the head again.
And you head back towards the larger building, haunted by the words lightly spoken carried to you on the winds. Even a fish wouldn't get into trouble if it kept its mouth shut.
Sister Cadmium is my favorite person. Cadmiisms are just...
Okay, I'm actually going to use that one with my fourth graders.
That. I'm going to rewatch this stream specifically so I can write down all the cadmiisms.
Fish need to open their mouths to breathe.
Yeah, I'm still going to use that with my fourth graders.
Depends on the fish.
It's been a week.
Some of them,
they have
it
to,
just
swallow water and then it goes to the...
I think it depends on the fish, though. But you can also say a whale.
Oh.
But, I'm going to go back. I'm going to pull out...
I'm suspicious of this.
My
platitude.
harp.
Mm-hmm.
And try plucking through it again, seeing if I can figure out anything. But it's just fumbly, and my fingers feel too big, and nothing feels right, and I'm really frustrated. I'm just going to freaking shove it back in my bag.
Okay.
I'm pissed off.
You hear a string snap.
Not surprised.
As that whole thing is pretty brittle at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to shove it back in my bag and be like, whatever.
Twing!
Done.
Yep.
Okay.
No.
Talia, you've been having a fun conversation with Morthus as Almania storms out, Cormier storms in, Almania storms in again,
And then I come in.
and then Fira manages to come in, and you guys are kind of all
Mrs. Mayweather, I
in
have
this
been
room.
looking for you.
I'm so sorry, Lovey. I got lost.
I was worried about you. Well, actually,
Do you mind if I have a bite? It's
no,
been all
please
day.
go for it. Go.
Thank you. I go and I have some soup.
Okay. You have some soup.
I go sit by you.
What are we supposed to do? The ship left. It's not there. I looked and it's not there.
Well, ship not there. Wasn't expecting that. I suggest that it will all look brighter after a little bit of this, a little bit of shut-eye, and then
The
we
sleep.
will
That's what it is.
reconvene,
That's what I need.
And it is getting very dark outside.
Okay.
and we will have a chat with all of us. I've gone around to all the huts. Many of them are empty. We will just pick one that will be ours. They're unheated, but we have...
Can't we just sleep in here? There's a lot of rugs over there.
I suppose we could. It does seem like most of the monks do sleep out there, and I don't know when in Onisher, do as the Onishurians. When in Vreem, do as the Vreemans do.
That actually oddly works.
Exactly.
It's almost like I based Vreem off.
Actually,
I know.
it's when in Vreem you do what the Vreemans tell you.
No, when in
no.
Vreem, do what you promise.
That's what I was gonna say. You do what you promise to do.
There's a whole thing, viewers. When we get to Vreem, you'll see.
I'm sorry. Did you say when? Should I
He
run with the
loves
when? Can I run with the when, please?
Vera will implode if she goes to Vreem.
Actually, Talia has probably always
you
wanted
would
to
do
go there.
just fine.
Talia would love it.
It's not known for its magic.
No,
Nobody
but it's a big city somewhere else.
It is the largest city on the continent
They have a
by
library.
Are there other
by a
comments?
factor of 3.
They have a Callista.
There are 2 subcontinents.
Also, I would like to point out that, yeah, it's funny that everyone thinks that it's Callista that is the
I
cleric
know,
that can
I
raise
know,
the dead,
which
when it
isn't-
was
she isn't
Loravis that literally
I know.
raised the dead in the city park,
I
and
know.
Callista was
not there.
nowhere to be seen.
Exactly.
The
But she's the one
nature
who's
of
there right
rumor.
now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I still want us to go to Westshire, and Lorvis is just there blowing shit up like, whatever.
What are you guys doing?
Lorvis isn't in Western.
I'm crabby. I'm gonna go
Um,
and sit in the warm area
what-
and curl
what-
up. And... not know where to sleep. So
unheated,
I'm
I
gonna
will
just
admit
crash
that.
Okay, you
Why
curl
don't we
up in the
just
food
sleep
hall.
here?
All right,
I
think
think
that's
the
fair.
monks, like, you know, because they they eat acorns instead of rocks. They don't feel the cold.
It's all that acorn protein, man.
What? I, for the record, have not heard any platitudes except the one from this frozen screw guys.
Oh man.
Which I forgot what it was. Something about possessions. Something deep. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. I didn't write it down. I'll go back and watch the stream. And I met somebody that I think Cormier would be best friends with.
Oh, good. Maybe Cormier can stay here and I can go far, far away from him.
We're on an island, Levy. In fact, this is an ideal time. Perhaps tomorrow, after we've all had a rest, perhaps we put a little bit more booze in his system, and
No,
we can
you
all
didn't.
sit down and have a nice chat.
What do you mean more booze?
Listen, one does not take what is quite clearly a raving alcoholic. Can we both admit that? I'm keeping my voice down so you can't hear me.
Of course.
He is. We know this.
Yes, I do know that.
You cannot take it
If
away
we denied it, we'd be just done.
immediately, all at once. He will die. I know people like this.
Yes, but he would
I
die, and
have-
I wouldn't have killed him or have failed to save him.
Do you really want him to die?
Of course not. Not a monster.
I know you are. You saved his life.
3 times, actually.
I know, but
Not that I'm counting or anything.
yes, you have said that, and I'm wondering. You really are counting.
I don't know what to do, and what are we supposed to do? Like, our whole point of this was to go find a way of finding that person
Of saving Almania.
to save Almania, and Almania is saved, but now Lyra's gone, and what are we supposed to do?
I
Mrs.
would
Mayweather?
thoroughly like to go home
And
to
we
my
just left
granddaughter.
Lyra in the library.
We did do that. But in better news, we left her in sub-zero temperatures, and she will
Body's
be
so
quite
preserved.
quite
Perfectly
safe. And tomorrow, when we're all rested, we will give her a fine send-off. And then we will figure a way.
Well, see, and that's something I've been wondering about too, because the whole narrative of Illyrio is the sacrifice, right?
Which was done.
But and Lyra did it, but she's also like the only person I know that is like her. And
I know.
if we don't have more people like her, but can we bring her back? Should we bring her back?
That's
Is
what
that
I'm
how it
afraid of.
works?
It seems like there was an exchange. Divinities I do not understand. Exchanges I do. There was a life for a life. You try and give back the one, they will take back the other. That is what I'm afraid of.
I don't know how to. She was angry with me when I did the thing last time, and she said I wasn't ready.
Well, perhaps you're saying that you're afraid there's no one else like her. If you're afraid of that, then be like her.
I can't. I can't learn these things
How much,
without anyone to teach me.
How might she have learned them? She seems to have been the first to hear the news. So,
See, I have book smarts, Mrs. Mayweather. I don't know.
well, we've all frankly done things we never thought we would do. I have never left the city of my birth.
Neither have I, but I have dreamed about it for a long time.
I never
And
had any dreams of the sort.
Outside of the city, the world is kind of rotten.
Well, to be perfectly frank, inside the
Well,
city,
it's also kind of rotten inside the city.
world is rotten. So,
I thought
Don't
that
talk about your family that way.
I'm sure it sucks.
I'm kidding. Keep going.
I am fully aware that Odyssey sucks.
the other thing, I don't know what to do because I don't know if Almania got cursed with something like I did. She's not herself.
Well,
You shouldn't trust her.
Morthus is sitting there. After your conversation, he seems to have kind of descended into a kind of a dark mood.
Shouldn't trust her.
Why do you say that, Morthus?
It's only one person who's come back from the dead, ever.
I know.
Well,
Ever.
apparently there's somebody in Dream.
That's bullshit.
That's fair. But also, really, is that necessary?
Apologies.
You didn't hit him. You hit me, and it wasn't even my fault.
I do apologize for that. It is instinct. I'm learning to perhaps give a verbal reminder before resorting to other reminders. See, everybody changes, everybody grows, and if I can grow at my age, you can change at yours.
I tried to ask these people questions, and they didn't.
Tell you anything.
Well, I found
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I found a very helpful, again, this is the friend I think I've made for Cormer. I have found a very friendly young man, downstairs.
What does he do?
And keep this very far on the down low, as I believe you young people say.
I've honestly never heard a young person say that, but I don't hang out with many young people.
Anyway, that my friend, Brother Fool, brews beer privately downstairs in massive vats.
Why?
He appears to live off the stuff, but he appears not to. What is the fantasy equivalent of drunk the Kool-Aid? He appears not to have
Drunk the beer that he is brewing.
Tickled the lich.
He appears not to have tickled the lich, so to speak. He remains quite independent-minded, and also does not speak in platitudes. But he was shipwrecked here, quite as we were, and appears to be quite trapped, as we are, but has found his own little circle of life in the dark. But he's blind, so that doesn't really matter. Making beer out of dead people.
What?
I had quite an interesting day.
I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't hear you. Maybe everything has.
This has been a strange
What?
day for us all.
What do you mean out of dead people?
So,
I'm finding somewhere to sleep.
yes,
And
that's
Morthus just
very
kind of gets
wise.
up and heads
How
out.
about we all have a nice rest? We sit right here in the corner of this room. We have a nice little rest, and I will tell you all about my adventures. And tomorrow we will all meet. We will all sort out what on earth we are doing, and we will do it in a civil manner, no matter what previous conflicts we might have between us. Fair enough?
All right.
We're all adults.
Are we?
Yes. And if we're not, we had better become one very quickly, because the world necessitates growing up very quickly.
It's true. All right. Well, I'm going to stay here. I don't know where the rest of you guys are going, but I'm going to stay here.
All stay together. And are we all in the room?
Morthus just left.
In various corners?
Cormir is sitting in the
Cormer's
corner,
in here.
like
We're in here. We're
sitting over half a bowl of soup, just kind of
Amani
nodding
came
off
back.
and drooling.
Right.
What's
Amani,
that?
are you in the room?
Nope. I went up to kind of the warm temple area where, like, around the courtyard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That
You were
was
going
right.
to the courtyard. I'm sorry. I thought you came back into this building.
That's
No.
awesome.
So yes,
I thought you were.
you go back to the courtyard to see dozens of monks, all of whom have some sort of it's this cloth ribbon, right? But it's a circle, but it stretches and it gives and it resists, and they are all contorted into these bizarre forms.
Full body weaving.
Full body cat's cradle, essentially.
This is you. This is
So,
all you.
Like they're all just twisted, and they're slowly moving from form to form. It's weird.
Yeah.
Does it look like the rugs? Is that what the thing is? The rugs?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's weird. I'm gonna like curl up in a dark corner
You curl up in a corner.
and just kind of try to fall asleep there 'cause it's warm there.
All right, we have 3 out of 5. I suggest we keep the 3 that we have together. Yes? I will play referee between you and him. I'll go sleep over there. I'll point in the opposite corner from where Cormier is.
Okay.
I'll go up to Cormier and go, Cormier, lovey, sleepy? We're going to sleep in here where it's nice and warm, all right? Here, you come and sleep by me, lovey. And I'll go and I'll, like, drag his massive form off the chair, like, tip him over.
There's no chair. He is propped up.
Oh,
in
yes,
a
never
corner.
mind. He's already
Yeah.
in the corner, so I'll just be like, I'll curl up next to him and go to sleep.
Okay, you curl up next to him.
Before I sleep,
Yes.
I will sit and what's on the floor in here? It's wood floor?
Yeah.
Okay. I will very, very gently, with just the tip of my dagger, because I'm thinking about what Lyra said about doing things that I'm not ready for, but at the same time I'm rather desperate.
Mm-hmm.
I will just trace the same spiral on my arm in the same place. I know you said it had healed over completely with
No scar, nothing,
no
no
scar.
evidence that it ever happened.
Just very lightly, just so I get a faint trickle of blood, and I will just sit there and think. I'll tell myself the story of Illyriel again. I'll think through all these things. I will hold her holy symbol and just think through and wonder what on earth I'm supposed to do at this point.
Roll a wisdom check.
Do I roll the Yanala die for this? Do I roll the Lourdes? I don't know what to do because they're all failing me. $14.
As you've done before, you carve it into your arm, and you pray, and you hope. And as always, nothing happens. I'm here.
What? Okay.
I'm here.
Lyra? Does it sound like Lyra's voice?
You can't really place the voice. It's kind of this insistent whisper. And you see a series of images. You see a large statue of an extraordinarily powerfully built, well-armored humanoid figure that sits in the middle of a city square. You don't recognize the place. The architecture looks vaguely Anishiran. I don't know what the adjective form of that would be.
On a Shirian?
Shiri.
Okay. On a Shirian.
And there's a placard on the statue that you can't read. But you know that there is something dangerous written on it. The sense radiating from this statue is of fear and anger and danger. You see the ruins of buildings surrounding a massive pit that just drops straight off into the ground. it looks as if there were buildings here and the pit just opened up beneath them, and whole chunks of these buildings have just fallen down. You see battlements that have been shattered and scattered across the snow. And through all of that, you hear, "I'm here. Find me."
I will. I will do my best. How?
You just kind of snap out of it.
Okay. Look at my arm.
There's a spiral carved into it.
Okay. Sweet. I'll lay down and go to sleep.
You all make your way to sleep. At some point, while you are sleeping, you are suddenly awakened by firm, unbreakable grips on your ankles and your arms, and you are suddenly dragged out of this hallway, and there's a bunch of bald-headed monks all around you, grabbing you, dragging you out of the building through the snow,
Amazing.
down these stairs to this
They put
room
us in a hut.
where you are just stripped completely. Just ice cold water splashed on you, and then as you are held down, they come at you with razors, and all of you are just shaved all the way down to the scalp.
I have no
This
hair.
does not happen to you.
Same.
I'm sorry, you are dragged through, and you are cleansed with frigid water.
That's my right.
You are brushed with some kind of coarse fabric material. There's just monks just scrubbing you down everywhere. It's really uncomfortable.
Sounds about right.
And those of you who do have hair are shaved to the scalp. You are splashed with water, and eventually toweled off, and then you are given your own set of. They're not orange. They're kind of these almost this pale rose color robes in the same style as everybody else, and they're just kind of shoved onto you, and then each of you is taken to one of the houses and just kind of tossed in a cot.
And our stuff?
You kind of lost track of it in all of the being grabbed and shaved and bathed is a soft word for what happened. We'll go ahead and end there. You all get
If you deprive me of my spell book, I will kill you.
I know.
The hand goes up of, I'm going to explain something to you, but also...
JM, we will talk about Cestopus.
You all gain the benefits of a long rest. Because of the nature of the exhaustion, it is all gone. I was going to say something else, and I don't remember what it was. You guys are level 4 as soon as you can get a week to concentrate on that. So that was weird. We'll go ahead and end there. I think nothing special is happening next Friday, right?
We thought about doing an Almania adventure, like an Almania Spirit adventure,
right.
but we didn't really
But
specify.
one way or another, we will be back next week. So we'll go ahead and end there. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Valentine's Day, and we will see you 1 week from now. Have a lovely week.
Bye.
Bye.